Chattisfying.
Hello, one of the Funsters, and welcome to episode 14 of Chattisfying, a podcast. My name is Mellar, and today we are joined by our co-host, Sukonami.
Hello.
What?
How are you? It's lit.
It's lit.
It's lit.
It's so lit right now, fam.
Look, I'm
It's
down with the
lit,
kids,
brother.
okay, Hippo? This is TheHairyHippo, our guest today.
I'm a
This is-
guest today.
Yes. I've been roped in to be I'm just the man with the face.
Feeling
I
a little
mean,
bit like a
Kind of
disembodied
ropey, to be
head at the
fair,
moment.
wasn't it?
well, you do look awfully, beheaded, don't you?
It's
If I
okay.
just start getting melting, I can be it too.
Hi.
I am Melt Man with the power to melt. That's me.
Mel, I gotta say, mate, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but you totally look like you should be like a villain in Bowser's Castle. I don't know why, but the way you were moving your head side to side,
It's,
I felt like you're in a 2D
it's
platform.
Bowser's White Knight. That's what it is.
Yes.
You can't insult Princess Peach on the internet. That's not cool.
Your princess is on another castle. Just
That's
before
nice.
we get into it, well, thank you for being agreeing to be a co-host, Sukonami. It's amazing to have you.
it's my pleasure. I was here before, so it's a pleasure to sort of. I want to come back at some point,
Yeah,
and you're like, here, do you want to give it a go? I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go. See how it goes.
yeah.
So I'm more than welcome to sort of see how it goes. Really, you
Yeah,
know?
man. I'm glad you're here. I mean, you. This is episode 14, and you were our guest on episode 7.
That's right.
Um,
It was 7 episodes, I suppose. It's been halfway through, and I'm back again.
Yeah.
So I also did something right because I think we talked about it at the time,
Oh yeah.
and you were like, "Oh, it might have been like one of the best ones we've done so far," sort of thing.
For sure. For sure.
And I was like, "Hold on, I'll come back if you want me to at some point."
Yeah, you totally had 5-star Google reviews and everything. You were amazing. Okay.
Would go there again.
As a guest, I think you're great. Okay.
5 stars. I rate it 1 star myself, but that's only because I've got a 1-star dryer model. So 1 star. That's all you've got.
Got to get some more stars there, mate.
I've not got any stars. What can I say?
Well, the last time you were on the show, it was July last year. It's now May, so that's nearly a year.
Almost a year, yeah.
Yeah. So, what have you been up to in that time, Sukonami?
Well, let me think. So I started off obviously. You said it was July last year.
July last year. I know, it's hard to believe. Middle of summer.
Middle of summer. So I would have still been at my job. So I left my job. It would have been not May. Sorry, it would have been March this year. So I've been away from KK for almost 2 months now, or so. I just things were getting a bit sort of. I was getting fed up. It's like, okay, so I would definitely recommend that if you're in a situation where something doesn't make you happy or your mental health's taking a massive toll, you got to sort of if you don't take action, something's going to give. So I decided like, yeah, this isn't for me anymore. I left and I picked up full-time streaming because obviously I was streaming like the last little while just as a hobby anyway. So it's like, well, I might as well fill my days with something. And I've loved every moment of it so far. It's been a blast. It's a case of I have a lot more time. I can do it for a lot longer. I'm seeing people pretty much every single day, bar like a couple of days a week, and it's just sort of it's really fun and really sort of rewarding to be able to like catch up with friends and actually spend time with people that you would normally. Oh yeah, I'm working, so I can't see you. Oh, I have to go work tomorrow. Like, oh, we can hang out for a little bit, but I have to I'm going away. Or just a case of like you're just trying to like stream yourself, and it's like you can't find the time because you'll know what it's like with having the schedule. Yes. It's like, oh, I'll stream this week. Oh no, actually I'm on late. So never mind. I guess I'm not streaming. So it's like that was the problem, especially with the work hours that I was doing. It's a set week. I was living pretty much around work compared to like working and then having my week. It was like if I had a rota, if I don't have a rota in 1 week, then I don't know if I can make any plans that week because I don't know when I'm working. So took a little holiday as well. Went into England. I was down your ends. It was a good time. met some friends that I met through Twitch, which was a really weird experience. You meet friends that you've always known online, and to actually be in the same room as them, it's a bit surreal.
To be fair, the first time I met Mellar, the only time I met Mellar, he took me to a graveyard. So that was a good experience.
That's what I do to everyone.
Yeah. Just follow me here.
It's actually what happens.
Yeah, but it's honestly it's a nice place to walk. It's very quiet. It's quite beautiful.
Lovely.
Well, indeed, of course it's quiet. No, it's like
silent as the grave, right?
Like something out of Silent Hill almost. It was great, you know. It's flooded.
It's like you see this one. That's you. If you
yeah,
you turn your back on me, that's where you're going. That's it. I did buy something that I think that you quite like when I was down in England.
Yeah.
And it's up here. It's up here actually. As a man who you've played the Legend of Zelda games. I'm going through Breath of the Wild for the first time myself.
But I really wish I could watch
this. I don't know if you've seen this or not. That I've picked this up, but it's
cool.
It's a super cool. Like I got it from. It was Mankind I got this from, and I can. It's obviously you can't really wear it, but you can hang it on the wall. It's a glitters piece, so it's got a little stand and everything. But it's super nice. It's super it's bright and colorful, and it gives you the sort of. I guess honestly, I'm obviously getting into sort of Zelda, and I want to sort of enjoy the other games at some point. So it's kind of like a nice little. Sort of not an homage, but it's sort of a nice little trinket to have as a part of like, this is a series I actually started to enjoy. I want to have something from it. There it is,
I think that's very cool.
But yeah,
the nerd inside me is very jealous. You've got that. That's amazing.
You can have this if you can have it if you want, but it costs you a pretty penny to get it. That was
no, I bet. I can't imagine my wife would be very happy with that up on the wall.
What do you mean we've not got a Lost version? Oh, I bought a Majora's Mask instead. So I thought it was more important.
The nerdiest thing that I've got is my sister actually cross-stitched it's the Hogwarts crest. It's massive.
Oh.
It's honestly it's really big. It's on the wall just at the top of the stairs. It's honestly it's amazing.
All right, okay.
It took her months. It's so cool. It's definitely
that is pretty neat. To be fair, that sounds super cool.
And I love it. It's such a nerd. I like nerding out though. Nerding out is fun, isn't it?
I think there's nothing better than just sitting down and being like, you see something that someone has, and it's like, yeah, I didn't know you liked that, and then you sort of go into a whole sort of tangent of just talking about stuff, and you discover a lot about people that way, because you sort of find out it's like, oh, I have this in common with someone, and then you realize you're a giant nerd for it. It's like, oh, it's fantastic,
Yeah. Absolutely. No, because I've been back into the office. I've not been around as much. I want to know a little bit about your Breath of the Wild playthrough, because I wish I could be watching it.
So you've played it before, no?
I'm playing it on stream as we speak. Well, not right now, but
I thought it was a podcast. It's sitting there playing it. That sounds great. I started before I went down to England. That would have been about a month ago or so. I've already put about 60 to 75 hours into it.
Yeah.
I picked up if you haven't picked up the DLC, the DLC is apparently worth it.
I haven't done the DLCs. I haven't got those
yet.
So
I've yet to do DLC stuff, but there is you get a whole bunch of side quests. There's the Champion's Ballad or whatever that is. You just do after you do all the beasts, and then there's the Child of the Sword, which is the Master Sword stuff. But I've been sort of taking my time with it and really enjoying it, pretty being slow about it. It's really, really fun. It's and the world's so expansive to the point where you're sort of you want to see everything. I remember the first couple of streams I did, it was a case of we went around the map. We did sort of the whole Ubisoft thing where you go around and get all the towers and sort of get them all unlocked, so you got the whole map. So I did that. Was the first sort of thing I did. And then I was like, you know what? I wanted some lore to this game, so I went around and I did all the memories after that.
Nice.
So I got all them. I did everything without a guide. But I've been trying to avoid spoilers, avoid sort of any help that I need. It is. I will tell you a little tip, streamer to streamer. People do not care. People do not give a single F about you saying no backseating. People want you to play people want you to play the game the way that they want you to play the game.
That's actually one of the reasons
why
it
is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I very particularly my first playthrough I did on my own, because I was like, because it's Zelda, it's like it's a bit of a personal experience anyway.
You want to enjoy it, exactly.
Yeah, and I was like, if I get spoiled for something, it's you know, you can only play a game for the first time once.
Trust me, I know. I know that feeling very. There's a lot to play. That's the thing, but it's also a case of like, when a game is as long as Zelda, as long as Breath of the Wild, I think it's the same thing with like Witcher and anything like that. You sort of have the problem of it's such a long game. People don't really want you to spoil your first experience of it. But then there's some people that just don't care and like, yeah, you need to do this because it's cool. Oh, I really enjoy this, so you should do it too. And it's like, last I checked, I was the one holding the controller, and I'm going to play the game the way I want to play it. Like, if you want to tell me how to play the game, that's fair enough. But I'm going to try and I'm going to try and be nice to you, but not take what you're saying on board. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's difficult on the other side of things. Like, I've modded for a streamer that was doing things for the first time. He was someone that sort of normally got, you know, between 40 and sort of, I don't know, 80 views quite regularly, and it was just a nightmare. We did things like Dark Souls and Undertale. Can you imagine trying to stop backseating on Undertale?
All the 12-year-old kids being like, "Here, Undertale, wow, Sans."
Yeah,
I love Sans. Do the default dance.
Yeah,
Sans.
it was an absolute nightmare. So I feel you there, having to deal with that. But it's fun to experience for the first time on stream as well.
No, it is a pain, but it's like I'm enjoying the game no matter what. I'm getting quite close to the end of it. Like, it's a case like I've done 3 of the beasts, but as far as I'm aware, it's like you do all 4 beasts and you take on Ganon. Well, there's nothing much more than that. But with the DLC, I've got some added on stuff. Like, I've got to do like the Champion's Ballad stuff. I've got the Trail of the Swords. The DLC itself also adds, like, you know how, say you get DLC items, they're normally just dropped into your inventory or whatever. Breath of the Wild is this beautiful thing of like giving you quests to go and find them, and it's such like a nice thing to do instead of being like it's dropped into your inventory. It's like a lovely sort of treasure map, sort of, oh, there's a riddle. Off you go to find, try this tree. Now I look, where this goes and do that. And the next thing, it's like, by the time it's a great experience because like Majora's Mask's there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, you got the Tingle armor, Tingle armor. Your dress is Tingle pretty much, but that's it,
Yeah,
it's a really good time, and I will be sad when it's over.
Yeah,
but it does also make me want to play the other ones as well. I've got Wind Waker, and my first one was like the best, which I found was very not really beginner friendly. I feel like there's a lot of like it doesn't really hold your hand and tell you where to go. The Breath of the Wild is very much like a game where it's like it tells you, there's waypoints everywhere. That goes here, that goes there. You go do that, bing bang bosh, you're done.
Interesting.
So it's I still enjoyed Link to the Past. It was just one of those things where it's like I like to go back to the older ones, but I also have to be a bit more open with getting help from chat and stuff like that instead of trying to do it on my own.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. I'm being very careful about how I word this because I don't want to spoil anything. But have you met one Monk Mazkosha yet?
Mazkoshi? I don't think so.
Monk Mazkosha. No.
No.
Okay. I won't say anything more than that because I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay, there is.
Yeah.
So what I have done is I went into the castle. I got the shields.
Yeah.
I got enough hearts to pull out the swords, and I'm sitting about 80 shrines now. I've done. The thing is, I've heard what you get for doing all the shrines, and I kind of want it.
Right.
I kind of want it, so that's what I'm going to do.
All right. I don't even know what you get for getting in those shrines.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, go on.
So you can get Link's original green outfit, like the one that's from. That's do them all.
That's really cool.
it's super neat, and I'm like, I want that. That looks really cool. I've done Mifa's beast. I've done. Mifa was my first beast I did. I've never. Can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
I've never wanted to fuck a fish before, but after playing Breath of the Wild, I would go to the aquarium with all the Zora. Absolutely. We can go to town. Sidon? Dude, I would Sidon. I'd let him Sidon my face. That's what I'm saying. It's the Zora, both Mifa and her brother like smash. I then did Mr. Ravioli's Beast. I don't like him. I don't like the birds. I like
No one
Cass.
does.
Cass is cool.
Yeah.
I don't like Ravioli. He's very what's a good word for it? Let me think. Believe it begins with an A. Asinine. Asinine?
Asinine. That's a word.
That's the word.
Yeah.
That's the word he likes to use too.
All right.
And then the last beast I did was Daruk's Beast, which I feel like Daruk may be one of my favorite people ever. Like
Yeah,
he's just
Daruk's very
he's
cool.
super cool. But I haven't done. I believe her name's Urbosa.
Yeah.
Everyone's simping over Urbosa. I don't know the appeal yet, but we'll find out.
She's
We'll
more of a
find out.
mummy character, I think.
Mommy, sorry, mommy.
Yeah, she's more of a mum character. I feel it's the other two that I think most people go for. But anyway, that's amazing. So you're full-time streaming basically now.
Pretty much. That's the plan. Or at least for like, obviously, I'm doing that. Well, I say full streaming pretty much is like 5 days a week, if not 7 days a week. You know, but it's like I was saying on stream earlier. It's a case of I feel like people when you take on the whole thing of full-time streaming, I've noticed that it's full-time streaming. You know, it's a case of people believe that you should be there all the time, and when you're not there, people are like, oh, it's like here. I'm just gonna sort of. I don't want to be here anymore. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I guess like that's fine. I don't mind. But it can be definitely disheartening when you sort of you put your obviously you're not doing anything else that you're. I'm currently living off savings, so it's like I need to take a break anyway. And this is the sort of thing I like to fill my day with anyway. Like if I wasn't streaming, I'd be playing games as it is, or like spend time my family and my dog, or going out places. So it's a case of when you're sitting down and trying like trying to put something out there and trying to make someone's day a little bit better. And the thing is, I've had so many moments ever since I became full time that sort of a little bit shocked me. Like it's a case of like people were like very 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 considerate and very very happy and very very like generous that I was full time. In many ways, and it's also a case of like people have also said some nice things, like a case of I've been told things like it's like, oh, I'm at work right now, and you're sitting here playing sitting watching me play games is like making the time go really really fast, and you sort of don't realize like how much it affects your making on people, and it's like holy shit, like here I am. Like I'm just like the most I've never sort of seen myself as that. I've always just seen myself as a dude that sits in and plays games. And you can watch if you like to, if you don't have to, if you don't, But like the people who are like, oh yeah, like I'm, they come back every single day and they're sitting chatting and they're like, oh yeah, when I went away to England and came back, like, oh we missed you. It's like,
yeah,
my dog missed me. That's probably as much as I expected. That my grandparents and my dog missed me. That's I understand that. But like people, generally did miss hanging out with me. It's like I'm just a dude on the internet. I don't know. Maybe I'm just sort of not seeing it or not seeing how much it does mean to people, but it generally does sort of like. And the thing is, like, obviously, at some point, like my savings will run out, and Twitch, you have to be I feel very lucky or very like I put a lot of hard work into it to get it to be a sustainable income. You're very much relying on generosity of others, and it's like if Twitch, if I could securely know that I would be getting like a paycheck every single whatever, I would love to do it. Like drop the hat, I'd do it. But it's a case of like you really can't sort of guarantee like, can I make rent this month with this? Can I do this? Can I do that? So it's like at some point I will be moving back into like getting another job. But, probably that time streams will sort of go back down again, that sort of thing. And it's like trying to build around that new sort of schedule. But I'll still be doing it. It's always just been a hobby. It's always like it's one of those things, especially for me, where as a kid I tried sports, I tried instruments, I tried all these different things. I couldn't get into it, but streaming was the first thing that kind of stuck. And I was like, is this for a reason, And it must be. It must. The way that I see it is I want to try and put try and put as much kindness and warmth into the world as possible. There's a lot of bad things going on at the moment, and I think that people aren't as nice as they used to be. So you kind of got to do your best, you know.
Very interesting. Very interesting. And you said something there about how people expect you to always be there. So do you think that because you sort of, cause I personally, I think that anybody that basically doesn't have a job who streams regularly is basically a full-time streamer, right?
Pretty much.
But
yeah.
some people sort of say
I mean.
that in order to be a full-time streamer, you basically have to put full-time hours in, which I feel like is kind of just a bit much. Because
I get what you mean. It's like a case like at the end of the day, you're sitting down like. Obviously, I mean, you work in an office as anyway, so you'll be sitting down and doing stuff anyway.
yeah,
But it's a lot different environment. Like you don't sort of. I guess people don't sort of. You'll sort of see it in Solo Hippo. It's very. You don't know how much it takes out of you until you're sort of like, okay, cool, I'm going to see you later. Like, bye. Like, we're going to raid this person, whatever. You turn off the camera, you're ready to raid someone, and you just it hits you. It's like I'm exhausted.
yes,
Yep.
exactly.
Like I am sitting here. I am just. I need food. I need to lie down. Like I'm done, sort of thing. But
Yeah,
you
because
don't-
initially you feel like you can go on for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah,
but as soon as you press
I
that button, it
I
just
think
completely
it's.
waves.
I think it's I think it's adrenaline, or like this.
Yeah,
It's just
I think
like
it
you're
is,
in
yeah.
in like a cycle sort of thing. But as soon as you do that,
Mm.
you're gone. It's like that's me done. I'm I'm done for the night, boys.
yeah.
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 And yeah, I definitely see that's the thing. Like, I definitely see that I'm definitely putting more time into it, and definitely doing longer streams. But it's also a case of when you eventually run out of games. Eventually, well, I say eventually run out of games. I'll never run out of games. Eventually, you sort of they come to the end of the game. You're like, what am I going to play next? What do I do next? Like, that's a problem I have as a variety streamer, and you have the same thing as well.
Yeah.
It's like I've spent. It's the problem with Zelda. I'll finish Zelda, and I've just put the last 100 hours or so into this game. What's gonna? This isn't like. And I start playing something else. It's like this isn't Breath of the Wild. This isn't giving me the same thing.
Yeah.
The same
It's
the
a
same
struggle.
sort of the same thing.
It's a
Which is the
struggle.
problem I have with Horizon, which you quite liked. You quite enjoyed Horizon, didn't you?
I liked the story. I didn't like the gameplay.
Yeah, it was the gameplay. It was both of them for me that I don't enjoy. You liked the game. You liked the story, but
Yeah.
I couldn't really get connected to Aloy. I didn't find it. It was like I was like, I don't know if I can do this. But I knew plenty of people who loved that game, but I was like, just couldn't do it.
I found Aloy, like, she was so sarcastic that I kind of identified with her quite quickly. I don't know if you're just not. Are you not a particularly sarcastic guy?
It's not that, I wouldn't say that I'm not sarcastic. It's that I think I became one of those people that sort of try to maybe I'm more of a yes person. That's trying to do my best to sort of appease everyone, and then I'm sort of afraid to be a little bit sarcastic. But it's I've definitely been sarcastic before. But it's like it kind of feels like oh I've done a bad thing. Like, oh, being sarcastic. I'm so sorry. You know? But no, it's I don't know. I guess it's just not sort of like a personality trait that I do super often. I'm more, I guess, I try to work on humor a lot. I'm very like I'll try and make a joke of everything, even when it's not particularly the best time. I end up doing that, and I guess I don't sort of clock it up. Well, it's probably not the best time to make a joke about this, you know. But I end up doing it anyway, and I always get in trouble for that. So it's like, oh, what do you do?
So, it's quite interesting what sort of DG Name in chat is saying about because sort of full-time hours for a streamer is I think even for someone who doesn't have a job kind of unrealistic unless you're literally trying to make it your job.
That's true. Yeah.
Which point it's almost kind of better that you don't enjoy it as much, I suppose, because as soon as you've got something that you absolutely love, if you make it into a job, I think that can sometimes be problematic.
A little bit of fun out of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like I don't know if you've seen it on the. Is it on the? I think it's on the dashboard. The there's a certain thing under. I think it's stream stats or something like that. It's like basically Twitch asks you to start a stream a certain amount of time within a month for like a revenue sort of like change.
Right.
Have you seen that on the dashboard? No.
No.
Personally, mine. I guess they take it from a average of your previous streams, like how long you've been, whatever you've been live on a certain thing.
Right.
But it's like I know that I like going back to being like a question of if you're a full-time streamer, you have to stream the full-time hours. For like the revenue share, whatever it is of Twitch, I guess they change how much you get or whatever. It says 18 hours for me. and it's like, well, I stream about 100 hours in a month anyway, so it's like I'm still hitting it, but it's like it's definitely more of a, I would say an incentive, but it's still, obviously I don't do Twitch to make money, but I do it because it's fun, and that's sort of a byproduct of it. You sort of, there's no sort of escaping it. If everything's going well, you end up sort of, you know, like, oh, I'm making a little bit off the side of it, sort of thing. But it's definitely sort of more of like a, well, that's not a reason to stream more, sort of thing. But it's also a reason to stream more. So I'll be sitting doing nothing. But I take 2 days off a week, and the 2 days I'd take off, I sit here. I'd be like, I guess I could stream. No, that's my day off. That's my day off. Oh my god, I could work on stream stuff. I'll do that, sure. And I end up sitting thinking of OBS for like an hour or something, and then it's like, so that hour turns into 4 hours, and suddenly it's 12 o'clock at night. I'm like, I should have bed. That's been doing this for a long time, and you've made no progress. You've moved only from one side to the other. It's like, I think it's better that way, actually. And you've done nothing. That's it. That's what ends up happening. You don't do anything.
It's all good. Well, shall we start? Should we turn the table? Should we start talking to start interviewing Hairy Hippo? So Hairy Hippo. So even though obviously you've been on the show every episode,
a couple of times, just a couple
of times.
I have no idea how any of this format works. I don't even know where I am. What is going on?
Who
are you? Who are you?
I don't know where you are. It says the hippo behind you. What's that about? But the last time we interviewed you was back in, I think it was like January 2021, about nearly a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So what's been going on with you since then?
Oh God, there's been a myriad of things.
I've become an old man.
Yeah, I've gotten older. Yeah. I'm getting grayer. That's fine. I don't mind that. It makes me feel distinguished.
So are fox.
Makes you look distinguished.
Yeah.
Look at this distinguished gentleman. Look at
yeah. I don't know. It's been very much up and down for so many different reasons. It's been unreal. Obviously, with the whole COVID situation and stuff like that, it's still ongoing. It's always been quite a detriment for my stream career and stuff like that. Career, put it in quotations there. Work's been getting more difficult. I work in technically what's considered an essential role. I work in transportation, national logistics and stuff like that. So I was one of the guys that helped get your bog roll to your shop so you didn't have to, you could buy it all out. That was me, Ooh. You're very welcome. I helped you wipe your ass. So the stream's been kind of a back burner for me, really, for the most part. I've been trying to take care of myself, and I with the fact that I suffer with depression and stuff like that, the head's been going up and down like a blooming yo-yo. It's been absolutely annoying as hell, and I hate every moment of it. And I go through phases of either like I'll suck it up and go on there and get streaming and get with it and really enjoy it, and I love every moment of it. But that whole turning the button off thing kind of like really screws in my head as well, as has been going on with me. So I'm like, I turn it off, I get exhausted, and I feel depleted. And therefore, when you feel depleted, you feel kind of like nah, and then you just lie in bed and you think, oh, I haven't even got the energy to masturbate. I'm just going to lie here and wallow in self-pity, which then constantly means you go to the next day and you're like, oh, do I pluck up the courage to go streaming again? And for the most part, I've been going, no, I'm gonna try and fix myself. So for the last year and a half, it's been very few streams. I think it's been probably about maybe 4 or 5 a month, but they've been streams that have been thoroughly enjoyable regardless, and almost every time feels like a nostalgia trip because people are coming back, Hippo's online, let's go, let's get the dirty banter going, yeah, woo, yeah, and all this kind of stuff, and it really vibes and makes me feel amazing. So it's such an emotional high. It's fantastic. So it's been so good for me, but at the same time, again, it's contradictory because of the whole switching the button off at the end of the stream thing, and then going, well, that's all my friends on that screen vanished. I'm just gonna go and cry myself to sleep by listening to Britney Spears or something. I don't know, the usual stuff that I do. But yeah, no. So, but I've kind of this sounds really, really bad, and I'm going to kind of potentially regret saying this, but with the whole like current situation, for those who watch in the future, because I hear that this is on YouTube on the odd occasion. See, I plugged your shit, baby. With the whole international situation that's going on, without trying to go too far into the whole thing, but it's kind of spurred me on to try and bring a bit more joy back again. for myself and others, because I know there's quite a few people in my life who are very anxious about the whole thing going on.
The C word.
Whoa, yes. Kentucky. No, that's okay. Yeah, sorry, I was never good with my season K's. Kicky K, curly K, season Kicky. Yeah, it's okay.
Oh.
But no, so the last couple of weeks I've been streaming a little bit more, and I've gone back to my safety game, which I've always had a safety game, World of Warcraft. Now, even though I hate every fucker that did the things they did in the whole like allegations, and we know it actually did it, and fuck them all, they can burn.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of fond memories, and it's still a comfort for me. And I have to say, even though it's so drastically horrible, the situation that has happened and has been uncovered, that still, if you look at the grand scale of the employees, it's quite minor. In terms, there are still like graphic designers, storytellers, and stuff like that, and quest makers and all that have had nothing to do with that stuff and just made it for what it is, and that's what I'm holding on to.
No, exactly.
Big bastards at presidents and CEOs and directors and managers and stuff like that, they can go fucking do, and they do anything anyway. They bloody make spreadsheets, don't they? Let's face it, they make the figures happen and all the evil stuff. But the people that are in the nitty gritty doing the actual making of the game and making it beautiful and making it aesthetically pleasing, the music amazing, the story's fantastic and gripping, that's what makes it for me. But I've gone one further and not playing retail. I'm going back to classic, and I've been playing classic for quite a while now.
Okay.
And I've even taking it another step further. So for those who don't know my World of Warcraft backstory, and I do apologize profusely that you get in my life story in World of Warcraft, and I'm fucking awesome at it, just throwing it out there now. Yeah, booyah! I started off for those who know it, I started vanilla, did this first expansion, the second expansion on the EU servers, and then my brother fell in love with an American woman through World of Warcraft. It's like the epitome of like gamer geek wants, you know. I found a girl in the game and she's real, and I'm gonna marry her. So he moved to America and married her.
Actually?
Yeah. He lives in Cleveland with her.
I've got a mate who met a girl on World of Warcraft and now got married in Finland.
And she's absolutely wonderful, and I can confirm she is a real woman. Only from photos, okay?
She
My brother's
passed the
like,
test.
you don't get this shit, and I'm like, I want this shit too, okay? Sharing is caring, brother. Sharing is caring. I want the veg. No, anyway. So when it came to Cataclysm, which is the third expansion that came out, I wanted to play with my brother. The guild was kind of like the people were leaving, stuff like that, excited about the world being torn apart, new stories and stuff. And I was like, I still want to play. I like it. It's fun. And so I went to the US side, and ever since then, I've been playing on the US service. Now, as a person in Britain, or the greatest United Kingdom in all the land, because there's only one, it was kind of difficult because you're playing with a load of Americans that are in the past, in the time zone sense.
So like, the past is classic.
Yes, but in terms of like playing on the retail side of things, I wanted to raid with people, and they start their raids at like 8 o'clock at night. That's almost 3 a.m. for me.
Yeah,
or,
that's
2 a.m, depending on which side you're going on. That is a big problem of having
American friends, isn't it?
Which is really good when you're on furlough, because you can go, fuck the daytime, I'm going to live in the night, which I did when the whole furlough thing happened. So it was really good. But then I got to the point where I'm thinking, I'm 35, for Christ's sake. I can't do the whole 3 a.m, 4 a.m. thing as much as I'd like to. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to start again. And this was in January this year. I'm going to start up again and come back to EU side. Now, me and Mellar were playing a little bit of thing between us and stuff like that, which was a fucking fun time. I really need to get back on that with you, because I've actually got access now, which is great.
Yes.
Yes. You have no idea how much that took. And I even took a Blizzard ticket to get that to work. Yes. I had to send ID. I am really me. I promise. I am me.
I thought it was age. I thought it was age verification you were in there.
No, I don't need to see that. You can see that in my face with the grey. But yeah, no. So I've come back to the EU side. I'm playing Burning Crusade because it was a fun expansion for me when I was younger and stuff like that. So nostalgia hits me good, and I've joined a new guild, and they're just absolutely amazing. So not only have I got my stream thing, which I'm feeling reinvigorated about. Brilliant. I've got a guild that's making me feel absolutely amazing off time as well, and they're just absolutely lovable, adorable people. I love them to bits, and they're just a bunch of degenerates, to be fair, which is right down my scene. I love degeneracy; it's great. So what they've inspired me to do in the last couple of weeks, I've been doing it is I did my first one Monday, earlier this week, maybe Wednesday actually, where they a previous person that's been on this channel, Karayan, suggested you should just put your sessions on YouTube. Now, I love YouTube. I've always loved YouTube. I want to get back into YouTube as well as doing this Twitch streaming thing. So I love editing. I find it very peaceful and calming. And he said, just put your stuff on there. So I did it. And the guild was like, they were trolling the shit out of me. I made a new character, level 1. I'm just going to do it by myself. I'm going to be a strong, independent woman. I'm going to go fucking do this. I'm going to be a mage, and I'm playing Alliance. So technically, I'm 12 years old again because that's what the Alliance are. And I'm not going to be a gnome. I'm going to be a human because fuck you, it looks better in gear. And so I got a level 1, and I opened up Elven Forest, and there's like 3 guildies straight away there, and I'm like, what the fuck? How did you find me? And I forgot they watch my stream. That doesn't help. So they're stalking me, and they're killing things, and they're like constantly inviting me to the guild. I'm like, no, I'm by myself. It's my journey by myself. No, stop doing it. And they're like, fucking join the guild. I'm like, fuck off. And it was 3 hours of just being tormented by my guild. It was absolutely amazing. I loved every moment of it. And then by the end of it, I joined the guild. I was like, oh, fuck it, but I'm going to leave again soon. So they think I'm in there, but I'm not.
They'll find you.
They will not. They will never find me. I'm renaming my channel and everything. No longer going to be the Hairy Hippo. I'll be like, Fluffy Kins or some shit. Hippo. Yes, recently shaved. Yes, but no, it's been really good actually. So I'm kind of feeling this, what I've lost coming back. The whole wanting to do it, wanting to entertaining my viewers,
getting that excitement back.
The guild. It's coming back. Yeah, and it's. I've always, like I said, I've always loved World of Warcraft. So I love the lore. I love the fact it's basically just an interactive graphic novel for me. There's so many minor stories that are so impactful to me that I remember and love going through. That it's also inspiring me to do videos on them again. And I'm starting to jot down little ideas. And I haven't been like this for years. And it's so good that I'm doing that. It's kind of bad that I'm doing a game that has such a bad reputation at the moment with the whole, like we were talking earlier, but I'm enjoying it. And I've always said that my stream is more about me being a dick and pervy than actual gameplay. If there's gameplay you enjoy, that's a bonus. So winner chicken dinner and all that, that's a different game. But still, it's been really good. So that's pretty much been my year and a half essentially. It's going ups and downs and now refinding myself.
Yeah, that's brilliant, man.
Yeah,
that's a good way of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like you saying about how it's maybe I shouldn't be playing it, but I really enjoy it and all this kind of thing. I've always kind of seen it as like, because there's been other times where this kind of thing has happened. Like there was the whole thing with J.K. Rowling as well. It's like, it's just because the people that made the art are kind of assholes doesn't invalidate the art in any way. So even, J.K. Rowling might be, I'm not saying she is or she isn't. I whatever. But if you think she is, whatever, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that Harry Potter is shit.
No.
Right?
I think it's the same thing.
Same with World of Warcraft. Just because some of the people that made it might be assholes, it doesn't make World of Warcraft shit. Play it anyway.
That's true. I think it's the same thing when it comes to like actors that are obviously got in trouble now. It's case like Kevin Spacey. He he did what he did, but it's like it doesn't make them. There's it wasn't just him that acted in like The Usual Suspects. All these different other shows. The same with like House of Cards. It wasn't just him.
Yeah.
Like he might have been the face of that, but it's like there's loads of other like supporting actors, loads of other like main characters as well.
Yeah.
People are now like, oh yeah, we're gonna boycott this because this one guy did this, but it's still a unrelated piece of art. Like whilst what he did was like wrong and it should never be done.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's still like it's sort of separating the person from the art itself. It's like it's not.
Exactly.
It's not. We're not supporting him, but we're supporting everything that's going on here, sort of thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like, fair enough. Like, don't give them any more work, but the work that they've already done, it doesn't invalidate it.
Yeah,
exactly, isn't it?
So, no, you were talking about obviously your stream. So, go on. From where you left off, sorry, Hippo.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. So with the whole reinvigoration thing, so I've been streaming some of the raids and stuff like that because we're raiding guild, which is awesome. So I haven't raided properly in such a long time, which is great. I've so much so that I'm so dedicated that I've got 2 tunes up that I'm kind of straddling between and stuff like that to help with me. I'm a straddler, baby. I'm a straddler. I love every moment of straddling. I'm bouncing. Why am I bouncing in my chair when saying straddling? That's not what you should be doing. You're a guest, not the host. Don't do these things. Anyway,
you can still on my chair if you'd like.
Yeah, I would love to. You know that.
While you're sitting on it as well.
Yes,
of course.
Yeah. That's how it should
I'm not sure the weight limit is, but we can make it work.
That's all right. We can reinforce it with love.
That's exactly it. Reinforce my heart with love.
Oh my god! Yes, I love you. I've so missed you, man. But yeah, no. So I've been doing a couple of the streams of like, and it's been like the raids that are kind of like. Well, to be fair, we're farming it, so it's like Maggie and Gruul, if you know World of Warcraft, and Karazhan. So they're very farmable stuff at the moment. And I kind of try to do like progression stuff when we're hitting block walls and stuff. Cause I thought it'd be kind of interesting, but at the same time, I kind of need to focus and not let my crew die because I'm a healer now, and I've switched to a healer. And I think, yeah, fuck 'em.
What
Yeah.
were you playing before then? Like,
So I was a balanced druid.
Okay.
So I was the guild. We started off in
Spellcaster.
one guild, and basically I was starting off. I like to play hunters because I just find it a very easy class for me to just sit with. It's a comfy class. It's my like. I don't know, my galaxy chocolate bar of classes. I can just munch on that for hours on end, and you know it's comfy for me inside. It's no real challenge. And then I joined this guild, and I found out they were raiding. And the kind of upside with Classic at the moment is that they allow you a one-time boost, which as a 35-year-old adult with a full-time job, and doesn't have the time to do the sink in like 70 hours worth of gameplay. It's kind of handy to have that one toon that you can actually get in and do shit.
Exactly.
With, you know.
Yeah.
So it starts you off at level 58. The cap is level 70, so you basically 2 levels before you start the new expansions content as such. So it's a great way to get started, and it's easy enough to do. So I was like, "What do you guys need?" And they're like, "We need a boomkin. We need you to go be spellcast. We ain't got anyone." I was like, "Okay, I'll do it." That's not their voice. That's me doing a really bad impression of someone. Yeah.
Is this someone you like in the guild, or is this someone you don't?
Yeah, someone I love and adore. To be fair, yeah, and they're probably going to kick the shit out of me because they're watching as well.
Oh, Christ.
But they're like, yeah, we need this boomkin. We're missing because certain classes bring a certain thing to like a trait to the fight essentially. So as a moonkin, you can you have an aura which allows spellcasters to crit by 5% increase, which is great, or 5% increase into their crit total. And
Battle res.
Yeah, you get a battle res as well. You also got Fairy Fire, which helps if you have it as an improved thing through talenting. You can get a 3% increased chance to hit for everyone. So you smack that bitch on a boss, and everyone can hit a 3% better. So you know, I'm 5% increase, 3% increase, and some feathers because I'm a big budgie. I'm basically a fat owl, which is amazing with little horny things because I'm cute.
You're a hairy owl now.
I'm a hairy owl. I'm a hairy owl. Sorry. Shit, what's wrong with me? Anyway, so I've been playing that for a while, and then it was just kind of, and then a core group of us were like, the scene's not kind of how we want the scene to be, and you know, maybe we want to do something a little bit more progressive instead of just sitting in this one thing, because they've been releasing the raids in phases, so each phase becomes progressionally harder with the new raids that we know about because it's recycling old stuff. But
yeah,
you know, you can start off with an easy raid and then it becomes slightly harder, and then you get the end expansion raid. It's like fuck you and die, and I'm like, yeah, I like that. That's cool. So we wanted to get to the fuck you and die phase, whereas the guild we were in was more like, no, we're just going to milk this fucker, and I didn't want to be a milker. I wanted to die. So we created a new guild, and we called it the Rebel Alliance because you know it is what it is.
Dorkami represent.
Yeah, faux show lit.
I don't play well. Lit.
Yeah, brah. That's what women wear. Sorry.
Raw.
And my dad once, but that was in the 80s, so it's fine. It's okay. That's how they call it now. They like to call it a bra. It's like we're getting into the OSA bra.
Hello, bra.
Switch and flick that motherfucker out on
What
my
size
floor.
of bra are you wearing?
Hold on. It's definitely a filler. Yeah. So we created a new guild. We're doing progression and stuff like that, and I noticed that we're kind of like a little bit lacking on healers and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, this is my time to shine again, because I used to love playing healers a lot. I play shaman healers. They have some amazing abilities. They're not like the number one healer, but they have a lot of utility. I really enjoyed that kind of utility and stuff like that, and their totems on these kind of things as well. There's a lot of things that it brings, and it's just a very fun class to play, and I loved playing it. And I played it in like Cataclysm onwards, so it's kind of like I'm preempting
Sounds good.
Which is kind of interesting to do in a concept that I only play for like 3 hours a night.
Only play for 3 hours. Only for 3 hours a night. Every night.
The thing is, like, how much was you playing before you got to that stage where I can't really play for?
Yes, before okay, so let's put it in perspective, right? So when I used to play Wrath of the Lich King originally, me and my brother made a hardcore guild, and we were playing for about 14 hours a day, and we raided for 5 hours a night, 4 nights a week.
I'm cringing because I was kind of in the same boat at that time as well.
So only 3 hours a night is really, really small in comparison.
Yeah,
to what
fair play. Like 3 hours a night sounds like a lot to me now because married, kid, all that. But back in Wrath of the Lich King when it first came out, I mean, it was what 12 years ago, more.
For me, it's I come home at 6:30. I eat my dinner, get on the computer for about 7 o'clock because all my dinner's pretty much I batch cook it over the weekend. It's literally just put it in the saucepan and cook it. It takes like 5 minutes, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and then get on 7 o'clock and finish about 10ish.
Yeah,
reasonable night's sleep. Get up in the morning.
Good routine as well. So that's the thing.
Yeah. Gives me still time to have a wank in the evening, watch a bit of YouTube, and pass out.
Is that from the blood loss, or is that from the blood rushing from your head? Or
it's definitely, well, to be fair, as Alliance we call it heroism, but it's definitely a form of
heroism.
Yeah.
blood loss is called heroism.
I need a hero. That's me, baby. I'm coming.
And then you just fall over because your head rushed. That's what it is.
But so I went right off on a tangent on the same topic, which is really weird to be able to do, but I did. So I'm coming up with a few different options I want to do. With regards to streaming and the YouTube scene of things. So on the streaming things, I want to keep doing this session, leveling a character up and having a laugh and exploring the world and basically just going as much as I can on my own. But I know the guild's going to be there to troll me, which is fun enough to watch anyway, so it's always a win.
Are you wanting to make leveling up your character like on your own a stream only thing? Or are you going to do that off stream as well?
It's going to be a stream only thing.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is, I downloaded the first session. It was about 3.5 hours, but obviously half hour at the start was pretty much me chatting and going, I've missed you guys, where you been all my life? I haven't streamed for like weeks, and la 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 la, and you're sexy. And then it became gaming. So I've downloaded that. I'm going to be making 2 playlists on my YouTube channel. One is going to be the uncut version where I'm technically going to cut the start because obviously I have like my 10-minute intro and bollocks. But when it comes to like the game itself, it's going to be uncut. So for people who want to just watch it and leave it in the background and enjoy the banter that's going on.
That's one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's there. And then I'm going to also do episodic bits where I kind of trim bits and try and make them like 20-minute digestible sessions as such and put them as a main playlist thing as well. So I'm basically making 3 forms of content out of 1 form of content. It's great.
Which you're getting quite a lot.
Yeah. And of course there's going to be moments that I can maybe potentially look at and like clip while I'm in OBS editing or on my tools editing, and then I can chuck that on the old TikToks and stuff like that.
Clock app.
Yeah.
The old clock app.
The old Kesha. Yeah.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, I call it Kesha because she's on TikTok, so it's all good. Yeah.
That's right. She did.
She did. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. That app was made by Kesha.
That was ages ago, dude.
Yeah. Kesha Pitbull, baby.
I was in primary school when Kesha sung that song.
Yeah.
That
just makes me feel more like a groomer.
Maybe 14 years ago.
Yeah.
But, it might have been that long ago.
Yeah, so that's kind of the plan I want to do. I kind of want to still do the odd raid stream and stuff like that. I want to be able to do. I'm trying to get back to my old routine. Well, I say my old routine, my mid-life crisis routine of 3 nights a week streaming.
Okay.
Midlife crisis. You're not even 40 yet, Hippo.
I am close. I am so close. I feel the Zimmer frame coming while my back slowly degrades.
You're fine, sir.
Yes, I'm basically Professor Xavier, but without a wheelchair right now, okay, and without the mental capabilities. But yeah, that's the kind of plan at the moment. I don't know about streaming other games as such yet, because I went through a phase during the war, in my younger days, as it were.
So is it the war versus YouTube versus Twitch, right? Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, man, pretty much. But I did this thing where I okay, so I don't know if you guys get it as streamers, but I have the odd viewer that will go, I really want to see you play this game. And then they just suddenly find your Steam and buy it for you. And you're like, what the fuck? And you're like, okay, you know, which is lovely. It's a really sweet thing, but I tend to find that
do you then
I'm not in the mood for it
to play it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I'm enjoying it, but again, it's when you were discussing earlier about the whole like Zelda thing, you kind of want to enjoy first experience of it, kind of thing, because it's going to be your first experience of it, and you can't relive that first experience unless you got Alzheimer's. So, you know, sorry, or dementia, whichever you want to go with. There's a slash in the middle there. I was
going to make a joke, but I can't remember what I was going to say.
Exactly. Digga tish. I like it. Nothing else to say. So basically, I'm making videos, and I'm going to be doing little lore videos and stuff like that, little like digestible couple of minute clip things for YouTube as well. Not so much on their shorts kind of side of things, but stuff that you can leave on and let the playlist play, and you didn't realize you went through the 30 videos in the playlist in 10 minutes. That kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm kind of planning. So World of Warcraft has these things where you can find books dotted around the world, in various dungeons, in like taverns and all sorts of stuff. And they're just sitting there. You can click them. You can read a short segment of a story, and it could be anything, like about the Lich King, or it could be about the dragons or stuff like that. And I want to kind of just like read that out and doing like a narration thing.
Do you voice it, like
ambiance? Not. I'm just going to do one narration voice that reads the story.
Yeah,
kind of like a cheap audiobook. Yeah, and but then I'd add a bit of ambience to it and have a backdrop behind it, kind of reflects what it's talking about as such, but without like hugely animating the stuff itself. So it's just
like putting too much like over the top sort of visuals into it. Sort of this nice basic sort of thing going on. Able to sort of talk over it. That's it. You know, I get.
Yeah. So if people don't want to watch it, they just want to listen to it, they're more than welcome to listen to it, because I've heard that I'm quite good with narration, generally speaking. Anyway, I know I sound common as fucking muck right now, but I can be quite civil at sometimes and stuff like that. So it's kind of viable for reading or narrating books and stuff like that. And I just thought it'd be kind of nice to have little digestible pieces that people just plonk on their lunch break or something like that. And again, it will transition to a TikTok kind of thing, which would be great for cycling audiences back off of that as well. So if I really want to kind of enjoy this whole new lease of life, I'm going to try and go as full on as I can without like being, but with some safeguards in terms of my hours of use as such as well.
Yeah, you don't want to burn out again.
No, that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
No, because the burnout wasn't my intention initially anyway.
Never is it?
No, but I mean in the sense of I came down with COVID and it really destroyed me and physically wasn't able to last as long as I used to.
I've noticed.
Yeah, I know, babe, I know. But, you know, that's why I'm more orally fixated. See, that's going back to my doorstep.
When did you come down with COVID then? When was that?
I caught it in the March of the first year.
Just as it all really hit the fan.
Tests. Yeah. So where I was living, so me, my dad, and my cousin, we were all house sharing essentially. The furlough scheme came out, and my work had a discussion. Me and the old man work at the same place as well. I helped him get my place. But we work in different departments, so I don't have.
It's not like you're sort of seeing him every day at work, and then you go home and he's there as well.
It's literally we commute together in the car and stuff like that. It's just easy conveniences and stuff. And it's because of the climate and how finances are, it's much easier to be together than it is separately in different places. So yeah, but so on like the Thursday, we had a meeting, and half the team or half the the workforce were going to be put on furlough, and me and Dad were the other half that was sticking on, and basically being like a skeleton crew shift. And then Thursday night we went home. Russell, my cousin, was like starting to feel a little bit rough, and we're like, okay, this is interesting. We went to bed, and at midnight we get knocks on our bedroom doors, like, Russell's got COVID, we think. So we're gonna have to like take him to hospital. So his wife, I'm going to take him, you guys stay here. And we're like, okay. Now I'm
also the worry that he lives in the same place as you do.
Exactly. So and when that start was happening, you're like, you could get it 10 days beforehand without knowing you've got it. And I'm like, oh shit, bro.
Call it a pre-order bonus.
Yeah. So yeah. I wanted a nice little plushie, but I got death plague. So close enough, I guess.
Bears can't be choosers.
Came from, so he went to hospital to get checked, and so I'm quite a hermit, generally speaking. I basically, my room is my room. I work, eat, sleep, do all sorts in this room. It's my studio flat essentially. Yeah. And so I closed the door. Wasn't going to escape. I'm going to go down, and I used to go. If we called up work and said, look, we're not going to be able to go to work because we may potentially have COVID in the house. So me and Dad got put on furlough, and the people who were going on furlough came back into work and covered the graveyard shift, or whatever you want to call it, skeleton shift instead. So I got furloughed for like 6 months, but so in the household, Russell got it first, and he actually, luckily, because he took him to hospital, he actually got hospitalized and was put on a ventilator and everything. Then his missus fell very ill, but she was at home, and so she stayed in his room, and basically looked after herself that way. Then my old man got ill, and bear in mind, me and him do a weight loss journey. We were on Slimming World just to try and, because he was very, very heavy. He was 30 stone essentially, and you know, in his 60s, and we were like, I don't know how long you've got. And then COVID hits, and luckily we'd already been doing the journey for about a year, and he lost about like fucking 8 stone already, which was great. So he was still obese, but he lost a lot. So he actually was fine. He just had sniffles and fucking headaches and shit like that. And then it was my turn, and I think I got it about 2.5 weeks after Russell did. Annoyingly, which is kind of a shame, because I should have been able to have got away with it, really, because I was sticking to my own room and coming down like 2 a.m. to get food and shit like that, and taking it back upstairs, and wiping every fucking thing down with like
times that he would be went about, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And so I got hit with it, and I remember feeling it straight away, because I was streaming. I was like, and I was really hungry, and the stream was like, yeah, you don't look great, but you know, so they donated a pizza for me. so they ordered me a Domino's, and I got an extra large Domino's, and I had the box that has the chicken strips and the potato wedges in the same time, and I had a box of cookies, and they got me a big bottle of Coke or Pepsi, whichever it was, and stuff like that. And it had arrived, and I grabbed it and brought it upstairs, and I sat it on my desk next to me, took a slice, and was like, I don't feel so good. I'm gonna have to cancel the stream. I really apologize. Thank you so much for the pizza. I will eat it and stuff like that. I didn't eat it. I actually became bedbound that evening, pretty much for about the whole 10-day period, where I struggled to roll over and piss in a bottle because I couldn't make it out of my bed enough. It was really bad. And Dad used to come up and he's like, you need to go to hospital. And I'm like, well, they're not admitting people into the hospital because I haven't got breathing problems. I've just lost all strength in myself. And I went from, I was 17.5 stone. I apologize to people who use kilos and pounds and stuff like that. I was 17.5 stone. And in the 10 days, I went from 17.5 stone to 16 stone. And in weight loss, from just not eating and trying to drink, but struggling and feeling so weak. And then for weeks and weeks after that, when the initial thing gone, I still felt weak and drained. And then that weeks went into months. And then it became a year. And then a 1.5 years, and now I'm here, and I'm kind of still feeling, I still feel less strong than I ever did, and but I'm feeling better in myself. But that whole like not being able to feel strong enough to get in front of a camera and entertain, because I never fake myself, I adrenalize myself. You know, I think
that's the same. That's the best way to do it, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm like, whoa, let's do it, whoa, and it's like going on for like 3 or 4 hours straight, and then you turn off the camera, and then as we discussed earlier. But I couldn't get myself to get into that position to like hype myself and go for it and get ready, and I was missing everyone, and because I felt like I was letting down my viewers and my friends and stuff like that, and I would like, Mellar can attest to this, I'd basically abandoned Discord for a long period of time and maybe message like a week after you'd messaged me or something saying, yes, I am still alive. I just couldn't do it. I'd literally just lay in bed, listen to Spotify, watching YouTube or Netflix or something like that, and just basically just ignoring the world, essentially. And it was really, really messing my head up. It was horrible. And I hated myself for it. But that used to be my go-to fix myself. If I felt really depressed or something, I would just shut off and just for a couple of days, listen to my music, distract myself with Star Trek or something like that, and then I'd be well back into it. I would have gotten rid of what was in my head, and I'm back to being me, but I couldn't shake it, and I couldn't shake it. And then I'd jump back on stream, and I'd stream for about a few days, and then I'm like, I can't do anymore, and I'd drop off for a month, and then I come back again, and I'd drop off for another month, and then it was just dire. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't, and I hated myself for it because I loved doing this. For me, there is no greater purpose than to entertain and make someone's day a little bit better. You know, bringing one smile to one viewer for a moment is so morally rewarding. It's unreal.
Absolutely. It's the best bit, isn't it, when someone's like, oh, thanks, that really like brightened up my day, or that made me smile, that kind of thing.
don't get me wrong, getting a couple of grand from that view as well is amazing as well. but predominantly making someone, because I know that I've made an impact because of the comments I've had. I have had people who have met each other through my stream.
Yeah.
And now best friends, or had a relationship but didn't work out, but they had moments together because they found my stream, you know, and that stuff is so addictive. It's unreal. And then you get people go, "Oh, well, you're a celebrity hippo." I said, "Yes, I'm celebrity to 7 fucking people, but they're my favorite 7 people in the world." All right,
7 people at a time, man. 7 people at a time.
But it's. I think it's all down to perspective. I have never been one to latch on. Well, I say latch on. That sounds really bad. I've never been one that goes to watch a television show and go, "Do you know what? I idolize that person." I've never been able to understand it. You know, and there are some people that have generally, and unfortunately, I've had some bad circumstances where people have like really started to obsess on me, on my shows and stuff like that, and would like constantly message me and stuff like that. And I don't think they really meant bad intentions at all, but I became their number one person for everything. And that got a little scary. I'm not gonna lie. I've had a couple of people like that, and unfortunately, they're not on my channel anymore. For
you feel kind of not just uncomfortable, but it's a whole different situation for you to be like, this isn't normally happened before. This is like, how do I handle this? I don't know what I mean, but at the same time, I'm also trying to like be in the kind of way. I'm not your world. You know, I'm like my own sort of thing.
Yes, exactly.
It's kind of like, I don't know what's going on or whatever with you. I'm more than willing to try and be here, like trying to help you in any way I can. But I at a certain time we need to have like distances like of what's happening.
Yeah, no, it's it. And there are so many different varieties of people that congregate on Twitch, from people who just come to watch the esports, from people who just want to learn, some people who just want the banter, and some people just want the connection. Some people, and this will be. Well, I apologize for doing Mellar's job, but it sort of leads nicely into the segment 2 section. But
I've got follow-up questions, mate, for segment 1.
Yeah, that's cool.
But go on.
But I find that I'm such an interactive person on my channel that I will always make some form of bond with someone, whether it's just a light bantery, that guy's funny as fuck, I could watch him again kind of thing, to I could become, in their eyes, a best friend, and they are close to me and dear to me. Someone might see me as a best friend, but I'll feel that they're like almost like a loved one, like a close family member and such, you know. So it's not the same kind of relationship, but it's of similar standings, you know. And I love that because I care for most of my viewers. There's one in particular, Bueno, who is an arsehole, and you know, but he's one of my best friends as well. I know he is. That's what I'm saying in it. Yeah, but I love him to bits, you know. But I have a connection with pretty much everyone that comes into my channel, which is a wonderful experience to have, and it's so filling of the heart. It's unreal. It's and I don't think I could get it anywhere else. And bear in mind that I've worked like charity shops and stuff like that, and helped with like I worked in a care home for a little while and stuff like that. And that's morally rewarding to be able to assist and care and help and like stuff. But for some reason, Twitch has just been a whole different thing. It's a whole different kettle of fish entirely. It's amazing, and I am forever grateful for it. And when I was not able to do what I wanted to do, I felt so distraught by it. And then you get the messages like, don't worry about it, just you fix yourself, you get yourself going. And I really appreciate that, but I need to be there for people as well as it fixes me as well as others, you know. And now I'm feeling this whole reinvigoration from multiple reasons, from the guild that fully support me and were there on my first session trial of the night and doing this leveling a character thing from scratch, and from like Karian, who's a very good friend of mine, who suggested me to do it, to Bueno, who messaged me at 5 a.m. because he's a dickhead and doesn't realize that we're in a different time zone because he's Australian, you know, to Ramekin, who's one of my oldest friends in terms of like, because I've known him since the start of Legion on the US side, and he's now decided to come play on the EU side of me in World of Warcraft, and is with me and experiencing my side of things and stuff. And it's all these little things have made me feel amazing again for the first time in such a long time. And I really don't want this to burst, and I'm afraid it will burst as well. I don't want it to fuck up. I really want this to last, and whether it becomes something that could become profitable and self-sustaining, which is always an amazing opportunity to be able to have that if it does work. I want it to be more than just a hobby, because it means more than a hobby to me anyway. The connections, the social connections will always mean more to me, because I don't like going out to a pub and hanging out with people getting pissed. I enjoy playing games and having my camera on and not seeing the rest of the ugly fuckers, because, you know, they haven't got cameras. It's great, but we can still have a banter and a laugh and chill out. And I can have, you know, have a couple of drinks if I want to, or I can eat dodgy food because somebody sent me a package from like fucking Japan and I ate sweets from Japan, and, or, you know, somebody's bought me a fucking Lego kit and they want me to build Lego on stream, and we'll just laugh about how fucking useless I am at sticking Lego together, which is the easiest thing to do, and I can't do it. You know, I'm fucking crap at it. But it's just amazing to have those opportunities, and I will always forever be grateful for those opportunities, and I want them. I need them. I'm addicted to them. I just need to make sure that I can control myself and my stamina more than anything else, and obviously my mental stamina to be able to keep going as the way I am. So yeah, I feel like I've really talked a lot there, and I apologize about that one.
No, that's all good. So
no, I mean we're here to talk about you and like your situation and that sort of stuff. So it's more than we'd much rather you talk and sort of, you know, go off on tangents and all that sort of stuff. Is that way it sort of gives a much more better experience than sort of sitting there like, oh yeah, here's my one word answer. Try to claw conversation out of you when it's like, take it away. Honestly, it's really not a problem.
If you tangent too much, I'll just object again.
Yeah. He'll actually mute me and go, we'll come back to him when he's finished. Yeah, it's fine.
You took 5 minutes to find some evidence, man.
Yes.
So I want to talk about a bit, because obviously you feel like it's great that you sort of feel like you're coming out of a funk that you've been in for quite some time. Would you say like you're kind of riding a wave in that kind of regard? Like you're kind of riding the wave of excitement, seeing where it takes you, kind of thing?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm streaming a safe game for me. It's something that I can always go back to and feel comfortable with, and whether people enjoy watching it or not, they come for me for the most part anyway, which is nice that people come for me. Women don't, but men do.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I have to use extra fingers. But no, it's definitely, it's more chain reaction-y than the wavy. Because this is bounced, like the session thing from the other day, which I think was Wednesday, bounced. I was very excited Thursday to go, I'm going to download it and I'm going to edit it. But I had to raid, so that's fine. I don't know about raiding. It's fine. Good fucking time. Love it. Great. Let's kill some shit. Yeah. No fucking died on my watch. I'm a heal pro. Yeah. That was lit.
It was lit. I could see it coming. I was like, he's going to do it. He's going to do it.
Yeah. High five. But
very nice.
But I now I'm thinking, okay, it's Friday now. I'm on Mellar's show, which is fantastic. I've always loved your show, man. You know, I've always loved doing the show with you and stuff like that. It's always been such a privilege. But now I'm thinking into tomorrow, and I'm excited. The fact I'm thinking about what am I going to do tomorrow. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to help set up the Fat Club thing that I do in the mornings and stuff like that. Or, you know, and then I'm going to go do my food shop. I'm going to order my full English breakfast. I'm going to buy my full English breakfast. I'm going to make the fucker. I'm going to come up here about 11:30, and I'm going to fucking edit. I'm going to fucking edit. I'm going to do my first edit, which is the uncutty bit, where I'm going to take out that little bit at the start and then leave the rest of it as uncut footage. I'm going to set up a fucking thumbnail for it. I love making thumbnails, and I'm shit at art.
That's so fucking great. I love it.
Yes. And I'm going to do fun shit on it, and I'm going to make it, and I got to think of what I'm going to title it, and I'm going to just uncut session. I've done my title. Yeah. And then I'm thinking, well, I'm going to edit now. I'm going to have to like watch my own show for like 3.5 hours to figure out what points are going to be good for me to keep in and what's not, what's going to be consistent with the story of my journey to get to level 70 on this character, but still keep the humorous anecdotes. And there was a fucking lot of them. And I'm fairly biased because it's my own channel, but I know I'm right, so fuck you all. So you know, and I know what segments I'm going to keep, what am I going to keep out, and am I going to do some like weird bonus footage shit, you know, like you have the end credits and then you have that little bit at the end, like this is some bonus bit when I got to this bit and stuff like that, and leave that as like a, so you have to watch the fucking end of my fucking video, all right? Otherwise you're not going to see it.
Skip the end.
I'm doing the whole Marvel shit right now. You're going to get some bonus cutscene credit shit going on, or maybe not.
Is it just
maybe not?
It's just a 5-minute thing of you eating shawarma.
Yeah,
That's exactly it.
yeah.
That's
Or it
exactly
might be like a segment of my Britney dance or something and stuff like that. You know, or whatever. I might just throw some random shit in there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm excited to do that, and I've got Saturday to play with it. But I know, like Saturday night, we're going to do Karazhan raid, so I'm going to fucking stream that Karazhan raid, and I'm going to be a healer. But it's farmable, so it's kind of okay. So I can have a laugh and explain the bosses and their mechanics and the stories behind some of them, and that really gets me going as well. Because people may not have a fucking clue about the game and don't really care about the game, but because when you watch someone who's enthusiastic about something, it's energetic and it's enjoyable, and it's kind of addicting to watch somebody who's really enthusiastic about something. When you guys are talking about Zelda, I haven't played this thing. I played a Zelda game that was on like the Game Boy, and I think it was like A Link to the Past,
Link's
or maybe
Awakening.
Link's Awakening.
Was Minish Cap not on Game Boy as well, though?
Game Boy Advanced.
Oh,
yeah, it was like a really, really horrible bronze color or something like that in the game screen itself. You know, wasn't color, but they like, we put a color in it. Enjoy sepia. You know, like, there we go. Yes, advanced technology.
it's lit.
Yeah, no, but watching you two talk about Zelda, or when Mellar talks about like doing the randomizers, which again I've never experienced. I've seen him do it a couple of times. I'm like, I ain't got a fucking clue what he's doing, but when he's talking about it, it's all encapsulating and inspiring. It's just amazing.
That's
and I think that's what I bring now with my enthusiasm back for World of Warcraft. It's as much as we were talking earlier that it's had such a shit situation because of their management. There's still like, you got to think there's like 25 years worth of stories built into it, from like Warcraft 1, 2, and 3, the RTSs, to the World of Warcraft itself, where it's now ever expanding and there's new things going on. And I'm not necessarily interested in the retail stuff anymore. I want to enjoy rekindling the past and enjoying that, you know, doing the nostalgia trip and going, fuck, I forgot about this story. Fuck, I forgot about this quest where you have to pick up keys from a fucking hellboard's fucking shit and stuff like that, and all this kind of stuff. It's just, but the fact that I'm feeling inspired and motivated is so wonderful. And again, I don't want to lose it, but like I said, tomorrow I'm going to be doing some editing. I'm going to put some music on in my ears. I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to sing stupid stuff like Moana's song, because that's a new thing. Because I watched Moana the other day again for like the second time, and I was like, I forgot how much I love this song. It's amazing. And it's not like the rock song. It's the one, I don't know if you've ever seen Moana, but she's like, yeah, so you know when she's like, the sea calls to her song, it's that song, yeah. And I'm like, I feel like that right now. The sea calling to me.
I'm an empath. I really, you know, I can feel this, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I feel like that about it's wonderful. So like, I'm gonna be plunking that on, and then and then in the evening I'm gonna do the raid and stream it, and then Sunday I don't know what I'm gonna do Sunday, but I'll find out on Saturday night. I may do session 2 of this little character fucker running around like a pillock. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. You know, and it's just great to be able to just talk about it all, and I feel like I did when I first started streaming, because my first start of streaming was very special and unlike most, because on my first night proper streaming, which was in 2018, I started playing a game called Minion Masters, and on that first night, it was a Sunday night, and it was a guy called Swango's Night Off, and he found me, and he was like, because Minion Masters had this thing, I don't know if they still do it, because I've stopped playing it for a long time now, but they used to feature the streamer that was on, with the most views, and because it was such a new game at the time, I was the only fucker streaming it at that time because of that time zone. Because Swango streams it in the week and he has Sunday off, and there was a couple of other streamers doing it, but they were American, so I was the only like British streamer really doing it.
Yeah.
So I was on their page, and Swango was like, "I'll click and have a look at that guy," and we became very good friends. And on my second night stream, he raided me. And that made me even more popular, and I beat the other people that were streaming, and then Minion Masters ring, and I hit affiliate within my first 3 weeks. Nice. In terms of like the encapsulating what you need, the prerequisites and stuff like that. I hit it within 3 weeks, done. And then on the 4th week, they offered me affiliateship. I was straight away, and I was straddling like between 10 and 40 viewers. So I love straddling. I was straddling between 10 and 40 viewers in my first like 3 or 4 months straight away, which is kind of unheard of unless you've gone viral. But it was because of the luck of the game and their little like community. They were very much like, I'm a Minion Master viewer, I'm going to watch a Minion Master stream, and then they kind of like circulated, and we kept it going like that. But so I was very and that was so invigorating and kept the adrenaline going and stuff like that. And it's nice that I'm kind of rekindling that, but on my safety game that I love.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. I'm definitely glad that you sort of, like you say, you've got like that that chain of events that sort of that's sort of bringing you to the joy again. It's definitely it's so nice to hear, because you do, you know, it's very difficult to avoid burnout and that kind of thing, and with everything else that's happened with you, like you mentioned earlier with COVID and everything, I'm so glad to hear, because I mean, I myself, I haven't been around very much recently because of everything that's been going on here. I'm kind of hoping, because I always myself try and do that, you know, the Friday shows. I've kind of, that's pretty gospel for me now, but I am hoping that once I've got a new stream room being built upstairs in the loft, and when that's
in
happening,
the mansion,
yeah, right, and I'm kind of hoping that when that's done, I'll not only have the ability to stream more, but I'll be quite excited to do so, because, you know, I'll have this nice new room and all this kind of thing, and I'll sort of ride that wave of excitement and see where it takes me, and see if I can stream a bit more. Yeah, that'd be amazing. I can make as much noise as I like.
You're gonna be wanking so loud up in that room, aren't you? It's gonna be unreal.
What are you on about? You wank so hard in your room, and Abdi can hear you.
Yeah, no, you can hear me from Scotland, man.
I can.
that high pitch in the distance, that's me.
I'll be sitting in my bed, sort of, you know, lying over one side. It's like, is he doing that? Is he doing that again?
Yeah, yeah. I'm only like 500 miles away from you, but it's close. You know, that little distance.
It's only been 5 minutes.
Just sonar wave, like do, 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 do.
Exactly. Yeah. Your spider sense is tingling my cum, isn't it? Is what it is.
My cum sense is good.
Yeah. That was one other sort of follow-up question. It's sort of going right back to something both that Sukonami sort of mentioned while we were going through what he's been going through recently, but also you mentioned it as well, Hippo. Is that feeling when you finish the stream? It's definitely something I didn't really realize until you kind of mentioned it, but it's a lot more ubiquitous than I thought, because, you know, you kind of it's not something that I think people that really talk about that much. But there's definitely, because when you stream, like Hippo said, you're not putting on an act. You're still yourself, but you've got that adrenaline going. You're you're forwarding that best version of yourself, that most outgoing version of yourself. Because I think, of course, not everyone, but I think generally speaking, quite a lot of streamers are sort of introverts, and their sort of way of being extroverted is to stream.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you're turning that sort of extrovert version of yourself on a little bit to a certain degree, and then you sort of don't realize how exhausting it is until you stop, until you hit that end stream button, and then there's that moment, isn't there? And I feel like you guys know exactly what I mean now, where you're just like,
that's it. Yeah,
and it's all over. And it's such a sudden, like, it's such a sudden change to everything. Everything changes in that moment, because like one moment you're in a sort of, your mind is in like basically like a party almost.
No, exactly.
And there's you know, a certain number of people there, and all of a sudden they're gone. The music's gone. Everything has stopped, and you're just sitting on your own in your computer room.
Yeah,
and it's very jarring, and you do have that feeling.
It's
don't
almost
you?
like a shock to the system.
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah, exactly. And you do have that moment, don't you, where you're like, that was so unbelievably exhausting. I can't possibly imagine how I'm going to do that again tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, and I do feel that sometimes you do get to it where, like, I mean, I've certainly been feeling this recently, and I feel like, Hippo, you have been, where you get to the part at the end of the day where you've done everything else in your day. You know, you've gone to work, you've come home, you've cooked, you've put that away, you've cleaned. In my situation, I've looked after T for, I don't know, an hour or so. I've put him to bed, and you're like, right, finally, I am free to do whatever I like. I want to go to bed
for the next 30 minutes.
yeah, exactly. I want to go to bed. All I want to do, I've no energy left whatsoever. I just want to crawl into bed and forget I exist.
I find that as soon as I sit in this chair, it's the most exciting and yet anxiety-inducing thing ever. Because you want to do it, but it's that for me, is turn the light on the stream, and that fucking light is boiling hot, and I know I'm going to start sweating, and that makes you feel uncomfortable. Do I really want to put myself through that? Yes, I do, because I want to see people, but then I'm going to be like really pushing myself to be, super hype man kind of thing, because I want them to see me as my happiest moments.
It's your best.
And I'm thinking, exactly. Have I got the energy to do that? I don't know if I got the energy to do that. And then you're like, okay, and then go for it. But with the whole like work thing, like my work at the moment is still extremely stressful with the whole situation. Still got a driver shortage nationwide and all that kind of stuff, and all these kind of bits and bats. And unfortunately, we have this situation at work because the COVID situation is now entering third year of it. There are a lot of people we were allowed to. So people who were on furlough and not on furlough were allowed to keep their accrue in their holidays regardless, which wasn't a legal requirement. They could have quite happily said you use your holidays instead of the furlough scheme and then put you on the furlough scheme. But they said no, keep your holidays. So I still got. I used a bit extra last year to try and do some bits and bats, but I still got 32 days to use this year out of a 20-day year with bank holidays on top of that afterwards. My general manager has 60 days to get rid of. We're not a big company, so we ain't got many people in the office. So they're now like my assistant manager above me. He's now gone on a 2.5 week holiday because he got married just before COVID, and then COVID hit, and they couldn't go on their honeymoon. So they're now gone on their 2.5 week honeymoon. So I'm covering his duties as well as my own duties. A couple of weeks ago, a colleague of mine who works in another department was off, so I had to cover his duties as well as my duties in 2 separate departments. So doing 2 people's worth of work because we don't have a huge amount of team. There's only like a dozen of us in the office, 3 on each different department, and you've got the managers and stuff like that. So it's been very, very stressful at work and very draining. But that's my main worry about keeping my this wave going, because I don't want the work for this year to really mess me up and ruin the wave that I'm thoroughly enjoying at the moment. Yeah, which is why I need to pace myself and do a couple of streams and not do a couple of streams and learn from my previous times. Eat better, drink more water, and keep yourself fluid and all that kind of stuff, and trying to look after myself and think more positively and enjoy this wave that's going on. And but initially those first few months it was all very panicky, pressing that button, and afterwards feeling like it was a great sense of achievement to be able to have done that and to have entertained those people and given them a good evening when they could have quite happily watched Game of Thrones or something or whatever else is on, or Moon Knight or some shit. But no, they decided to come and watch me. It's wonderful. It's heartwarming. It's beautiful. They want to come hear my pervy banter and talk about dicks and fannies and shit like that. It's great. I'm here to entertain. But when you turn it off, and it's just you completely like. Vroom, everything's gone out of you. That spirit sucked out of you. You're drained as fuck, and you don't know.
That's my fault. Sorry.
I love it, and I don't want to lose it. And the other thing I wanted to touch base on was that there's a perception about a streamer because they feel. Well, I find that some viewers, not all viewers, but some viewers, again, this is in the category of feel like they need a connection with someone, so they find it on Twitch. They find that. They feel like the persona you give. I say persona. The best of you that you put on the stream is what you're like all day, every day.
Yes.
And I'm not that. I am very, as you were saying earlier, most streamers tend to be introverts, and I'm very much an introvert. I don't really like socializing. I hate a lot of people, like general, like public people. They can fucking do one. But I hate going shopping. I hate going anywhere near people. If I could just stay at home, I would just stay at home. Yeah. But streaming makes me a better person morally, and it's nice. But I think people need to learn as a viewer that, or some people anyway, that we're not always 100% fucking full on. I can be like, I've always described myself as the kind of guy that if we were still in like school, in like middle school or something like that, for those that had a middle school in their country, because oddly enough I didn't in Southern Pass, but I was the kid that at the school disco could quite happily be fucking dancing like a twat and enjoying every moment of it, and listening to Coco Jambo and fucking Sex on the Beach by Teaspoon and all that kind of stuff, because that's my age gap. Yeah baby, I was Banger Boys and Aqua. All right, explains a lot about me, doesn't it? Yes, it does. But I could have quite happily been that guy, but I would much rather have been the person that was sat at the back and just watching my friends having a great time, because I felt enjoyment from seeing them enjoy themselves. And then they look back at me and I reassure them, like, yeah, fucking great, it's lit. Yeah, sorry, Mellar, but yeah, for sure. Bra.
Raw.
Yeah, but no, and I feel that's somewhat kind of how I am with stream. I will put I'm going to dance like a twat in front of everybody because I really enjoy doing it, and I do really enjoy doing it. But I would much rather be on my off hours, be the guy that sits there and listens, and then occasionally throws out a fucking stupid joke to make people smile and stuff like that, and realize that I'm still me. I'm just a very quiet me, and yeah, there are a lot of people. Viewers, you need to realize that about us, okay? We're not fucking dancing monkeys. Unless you pay us, and I'll quite happily be a dancing monkey. That's fine. Yeah.
I love how you made a point
on another
and
channel.
then immediately just undercut your own point.
Please said Domino's. Just I'll dance for Domino's.
Yes.
I might not eat it, but I'll dance.
Yeah. But yeah. No, that's What was the question again?
I think we're done.
That's the sort of like, shut up, Hippo. We need to do another segment.
That is the longest segment one I think we've ever done.
No, we're talking about the importance of
Well, I'm compensating, to be fair, because I don't last long physically, so I thought I'd try and do it vocally. Yeah.
Oh, mate. Have you got any sort of follow-up questions just before we move on at all, Sukonami?
I was going to say that it's definitely, obviously we're talking about the whole sort of how draining it is when you end and it's like everything sort of comes out of you. When you finish climax, you may say some words like that. Do you ever it's probably a question not just for Hippo but for yourself as well, Mellar. It's a case of, do you ever feel that it's you kind of have, do you ever get anxious like going live like just in the first place?
Yeah.
Or
especially for this show.
Oh.
Yeah, like going live sometimes, but for this show, pretty much every time, I'm always a little bit sort of hyper during the day, on the day before I do the show, sort of a bit excitable. But then I get the nerves, like a couple of hours before, and I quite often feel that, like, I think I've said this before. I'm not sure if it was on my stream or if it was on the show, but I have said that I think the sort of mental, so in terms of my mental health, because I do suffer from mild depression, is the worst time of the week for like mentally for me is the hour before my stream and the hour immediately after my stream. Because before my stream, I'm feeling anxious. Sometimes I lose my because I'm normally supposed to eat before my stream. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I lose my appetite. Yeah. And then always after my stream, I'm always sitting there like, that was fun, but was it good? Did people like me?
Yeah, you start to worry, don't you? You start there's that whole thing. It's like, I had a good time, but did it do as well as I think?
I feel exactly the same with women in the race. So
did I say something wrong? Did I make an ass of myself?
Did it not be as good as I thought it was? Am I like glorifying it? Because I was like, I did it sort of thing. How was it sort of going? You know,
it's saying I love you on the first fuck too soon. You know?
Yeah. I think we should get together. Oh no.
So yeah, it is an interesting, like I feel like because I did I don't think I'm as nervous about this podcast as the old one. The old one I used to get really uptight about because the thing about that I always focus, when you're streaming, it's quite hard to, like, if something goes wrong, it's quite hard to troubleshoot, but it's not impossible.
Yeah.
But whereas when we're doing this show, because it's like recorded live, it's pretty much, if something goes wrong, the show just stops. And it's almost impossible to troubleshoot. Pretty much impossible. You'd have to stop the show and sort of almost start again. So there's that kind of, there's a certain amount of pressure to make sure that everything's perfect beforehand, because there's no sort of scope for sort of fixing it on the fly during the podcast. Whereas maybe it's just a little bit of that when you're normally live. So I think that's where the extra nerves come from when it comes to this
pressure
show.
And that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Because it's quite a lot to do. Like, of course, people see 3 people having a chat, but there is a lot of pre-planning that goes into it.
Yeah, there's a lot more that goes in. There's a lot more sort of behind-the-scenes stuff that people don't actually get to see, or not as a chance to actually get shown.
Exactly. So it's a lot of work, and it's one of those things where, because it's quite a lot of work, it builds up, and you're like, oh, it's nearly go time. It's almost like if you've ever performed on stage, it's kind of it's a similar feeling to that before you go live and get it all sorted. Yeah.
What about yourself? What about yourself, Hippo? How do you feel before you go live, sort of thing?
I'm very much anxious.
Yeah.
Very much anxious. Yeah. 100%. Just the whole pushing button thing's always been very difficult for me, because do I really want to put myself through all this, just this whole like motion of doing it for 3 hours straight when I could just quite happily be like a normal person, just watch something instead or play a game instead. As much as I play game on stream and stuff like that, like in the older days when I used to play different games and stuff like that, it still felt more like of an obligation than anything else, because I could quite happily, like some of my most like successful like streams after the mini master things was my just chatting streams. I'd have nothing on. I'd literally be sitting in front of the camera and we'd be talking bollocks all night long, and it was great.
Yeah.
And didn't even have a topic in my mind. Just like, how you doing? Just chatting away. Those has been some of my most successful streams. Playing games feels like a Twitch obligation to streamers, to viewers. Like, because there has to be. There's a lot of box to fill, and I know I'm a fat fuck on widescreen, but like I can't fill all this space. But no, there's a lot of anxiety with it, and a lot of feels like obligations towards the whole Twitch protocols and general templating of being a Twitch streamer. It was started off as a gaming platform. It's obviously developed. I mean, if I could afford a fucking hot tub to fucking lie in my bikini with, I would, but I can't, And to be fair, it's really hard to get a bikini with my like physique, because my tits don't match like what it should for the size, for like the inches around me and shit. My tits go like that now. Then it's an age thing. They used to be like, whoa, now they're just like, they're going down to my armpits. I don't know. I think they're going for a tour around my back. That's what's going on with my tits right now. But like, I still think like the core of Twitch is it's a game playing, interactive or chatting thing, but you still have to have the game. And
I don't think you have to, but I think it does help.
I mean, I couldn't just live on just chatting. I think my just chatting
lot of people
work
do.
because but I think you need to have more of an audience that still like interacts back with you to be able to, or have something worth talking about to do those things. Like the podcast works as a just chatting thing, because just chatting, meow, motherfucker, meow. I'm Halle Berry. Sorry, I don't know what I went from.
Is that like 2000s Catwoman reference?
Why would you mention that film?
Why?
No one liked that film.
It's a bad movie.
I don't know.
The only good thing about that movie is that she actually picked the Razzie up herself.
Yes, that's true. I have no idea what did the Catwoman thing. I could have done Anne Hathaway, or
I'm much more Michelle Pfeiffer myself.
Yeah,
I bet you do.
Yeah, but I don't know. But yeah, no, I still feel like the just chatting works on my stream because they're few and far between. So I don't mention I'm gonna like next week gonna do a just chatting stream. It just happens. Like I plan to play a game and then it never goes on. Those impromptu moments the spontaneous moments are fantastic, and that's what works for me. But I feel like if you're going to be a just chatting channel, you need to have some form of viewership to have bounce back.
Yeah,
you need to have bounce back. Otherwise, if I could just stand here and go, yes, I had a wonderful day today. I went to work, and you know what I had? I had a cup of coffee, and I looked at the coffee because it's a machine coffee, and do you know what I saw? I saw a silhouette of a bunny with a big Beyonce ass.
Hippo stop.
You know what I'm saying? This is I can't do that. I don't want to be that. I want to have like fucking chat going.
Yeah.
A couple of people talking to me. I talk back to them. Then more people join in the conversation.
Yeah.
That's how just chatting works. But
that's
before you get to that position, you have to play games. Or have amazing figure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in terms of the feeling anxiety before the stream, at what point?
I feel like something just happened there, darling.
Yeah.
What happened there?
At what point would you say that the anxiety just stops?
As soon as the first person comes in and says hi.
So even if you're streaming maybe to yourself for a couple of minutes at the start and still talking to yourself, essentially, the anxiety doesn't go until the first person comes in. Interesting.
I would agree with that as well. Yeah.
As soon as you got the first person in, okay, it's going to get interesting now.
So you know what makes you feel great? It's when you say you've got a starting screen or whatever, and the timer's counting down. Someone speaks during that starting, being like, "Oh hi."
Oh God, yes.
It's like, "Oh,
I need
it's amazing feeling.
I'm like, so my fallback guy is usually Karayan, because as soon as I come on, he's in there within the first couple of minutes, and as soon as he says something random, like I'm safe, I have something to talk at. This is great. It's fine.
And then you can build from that and build from that and build from that, but you need that foundation, that first person to say hi, don't you?
Yeah.
It's also just like a way of letting know things are actually working. Because like you can set it up and it's like I don't know the chat's right. I don't know if audio's good. I don't know any of this sort of stuff unless someone comes in and tells me, it's like, oh, this doesn't seem right. Sort of thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
sort of building on that. So it was one sort of thing that I did. I think I've mentioned this to Hippo, is because you say I said earlier that there's sort of the anxiety beforehand, especially for this show. And for me, the anxiety gradually gets higher and higher and higher, and it spikes just as I'm doing my intro. So I'm like, hello, my name's Mellar. And that is one of the reasons why I always flub the intro. Because that is my moment of my absolute peak anxiety. And then once I'm through the intro and I start asking questions, that's when it very quickly tails off and we're just having a chat at that point.
Exactly, because it's like it's all this build. It's like I'm gonna, don't mess it up. Messed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't mind the fact that I mess it up. I feel like to a certain degree I own it and I make a joke out of it. But it is one of those things where like
it also becomes like a thing as well. For it's like, oh, he just messed up his intro,
Yeah,
It's
the day
literally
you do it properly is the day I retire. Okay.
Yeah, every single show. There's not been a single show that I've not flubbed the intro one way or another. Which is why today I literally went, "It's a podcast," and we moved on.
No. You started off with "It's lit," and that sorted it out for this whole stream so far. It's been perfect.
That never happened. There's no proof that ever happened.
Really?
I have it in here.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everyone who's watching this live and listening to this live,
but don't forget
that you've lit this up tonight.
This is the editor, right? This is the editor, so I can, it never happened.
We all know.
It never happened.
We all know. Yeah, we all know.
I will even comment on the YouTube channel saying "lit."
If you're watching this,
and everyone else on YouTube can write "lit."
Lit. That's exactly it.
And everyone on Twitch, go to the YouTube channel and write "lit." Okay, so he can't do that. He can't get rid of it all. We're here forever. We heard you lit it up. Okay.
Lit it up, dude.
Yeah. For sure.
Oh my god.
Sure.
Have we got anything else, or should we?
Jiggle. It folds.
Oh my god.
Have we got anything else, or should we move on to segment 2?
Segment 2, yeah.
2.
All right, awesome. So, segment 2 is the stream topic.
Sorry. Hi.
Need some love like I never needed love before.
Make love to you, baby.
Little. No, stop. I'm sorry. I was so hoping you'd do that.
So that's the girl group called Spice Girls. You probably weren't born when they came out, Suko.
I'm aware that the Spice Girls were.
Okay, just check.
I can probably name all the Spice Girls actually.
Yeah, but do you know that
Go
song
on,
was Christmas
alright.
#1 in 97?
You know, I was born in '98.
Or was it 98?
You are the after effect of the song happening at
Yeah,
Christmas.
there you go. You don't happen to be born in September, do you?
No, it's for October. I was.
Well, there you go. Maybe you were slightly
I
late.
was a little bit early. I was a little bit
You were
late.
conceived during Spice Girls.
I don't know.
Food for thought.
It's a Spice Girls, baby.
Different spices.
That's why it's so
To
tasty.
be fair, one of those are right. Metal's right. One is ginger. So.
Portal 1 came out 15 years ago.
Did it? Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm old. So, segment 2 is where we talk about the stream topic. The stream topic is below. We're going to be talking about the importance of chat today. So, what we normally do is we sort of we say our own sort of thoughts on the subject. It's intentionally quite a broad subject, and then once we've each said our piece, we sort of have a bit of a back and forth until the subject is done. So normally let the guest go first. So TheHairyHippo, would you like to kick off?
So when this topic came about, and I chose the topic because I didn't think of it just like chat, like the chat going. I felt of it more as the box, the chat box.
If I'm honest with you, I mean, I've capitalized the C in chat because it's the noun. Chat is the thing. They are the people combined.
Yeah. Which is
masses.
cool. So how I've done it is if I just think of it as the box and what encompasses within the box still counts as the whole chat as well.
Yeah.
So I find it a very amazing tool to have, especially more so as a streamer than anything else, because you can capitalize on it in so many different ways. Not only does it bring you confidence because somebody's watching and has responded to you, which is absolutely phenomenal. Any streamer, whether you're a new streamer or an old streamer, will always love the first chatter. Because again, it gets rid of the anxiety straight away if that's something you fall with. But the chat box itself has so much you can do, especially nowadays with Twitch, with the whole your little bloody fucking channel point shit and stuff like that can happen in the stream, and like so someone can make him sound Liverpudlian or something like that if you wanted to. All these kind of different things that you can utilize to bring more interaction to your stream, which brings more enjoyment overall for the viewership, which is great. And it's this, the chat box can just cause so much. It can bring so much joy. It can bring heartwarming moments and stuff like that. You know, you can bring advertisements of your other platforms and stuff like that. Like on mine, I advertise Mellar's podcast, you know, and there are people who have clicked it and went, ooh, he's not that lit. You know,
it was the ooh.
Ooh. The ooh. That's my generic ooh sound.
Oh.
But I think chat is very important. The box is very important. The people are very important. The communication is very important, because without it, this would be a very struggling industry to be a part of. Even in a financial sense, it really would be. Could you imagine? I mean, I feel like if this was more so much like YouTube without the comment section, again, you could give something out, but the fact that you wouldn't be get anything back from it is just a crying shame to do so. And I'm very appreciative of it. And I've made so many thought-profounding moments because of the chat. It's wonderful. Because I ain't no wise person. I is thick as shit, okay? And they brought so much stuff. And they're fucking backseating bastards as well. But still, like, it's such a diverse platform for one fucking segment of your screen that most people take for granted. Yeah. For the most part. They really do. Like in my old days, I used to have commands that used to activate people's sound effects I used to have on my stream because I used to be subbed, and it was a little perk that I gave to them. That was something they were really excited to do. It's all because of the chat box. It's all because of the chat, because they can write something in there. You know, you can make me do stupid shit. Like I used to do planks because I'm a fat fuck, and everyone knows watching a fat fuck do exercise. That was something that they could activate in chat, which brought more joy to people. You know, I've had people tell me that, you know, they finally got a girlfriend and they're really excited about it because it's their first proper relationship they've had and stuff like that. And everybody in my chat's just like fucking rooting for that person. It's all because of that one slender box over there on the right hand side of my screen. And it's a wonderful fucking piece to have. And again, I still think it's the most underrated tool we actually have. It really is.
So, Sukonami, what do you think of the kind of the subject
of chat?
Yeah, the importance of chat.
I think personally, the importance of chat for me is a case of like, as someone that obviously, well, streamers are normally, like you said, introverts. It's a case of, you don't really like to go out and you like to have more control over a social situation rather than sort of feel a little bit, you know, out of your depth, that sort of thing. I think that streaming in itself is one of those things where you can sit down and like you're sort of, you know, doing your own sort of social thing, but chat also makes it so you're still that social aspect, whilst you're particularly, you know, staying in your comfort zone at home sort of thing. But you still have, you know, it's pretty much inviting those people in chat into your home, into your situation, into your, you know, sort of thing, and it also gives you more control over the situation of who the people you actually get about. And if it's someone, you know, if people are being very pretty nice, there's moderation for that purposes. But normally people are super kind and super nice about it as well. It's one of those things where they sort of, you build up that rapport, you build up that sort of friendship, and people do sort of come back and they do sort of hang out, and you've got the whole sort of this situation where you're sitting playing a game. It's a random game, it could be anything, and people are interested in it, and and the thing is, I've noticed this as well, where people don't really care what game you're playing, they come to talk to you.
Yes,
and it's that's a great feeling as well, because I'm sitting there being like, oh, so do you know this game? It's like, no. It's like, so I was here for you. It's like, oh, all right, okay. Think like, what have I done? You know, what am I doing? You know,
I think it's a huge compliment, and it's also like some kind of social achievement as well. Like, I fit in, I'm accepted.
No, exactly. I've been very fortunate in the way that a lot of people who come by my stream or my sort of humble abodes, they normally don't really care what I play. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's like some people hang out. It's like, I just want to have a friendly face to talk to. It's like I pride myself on being that sort of person. Like, if you're feeling down, like, I'm here. I'm about. You know, it's like I can guarantee I'll be about on this time these days. And it's like, even if you're not here for the game, it's like I never, and like when I first started streaming, I never thought for a moment that people would be like coming to chat just to me, you know. It'd be a case of like people are coming for the game, they're interested in seeing this, all that sort of stuff. But it's like even if people do come for the game, sometimes they do stick just for the chat. Like chat's one of those things that sort of it helps out. Especially, I'm very much I like everything to be perfect. I like you know I'll sit down and I'll tinker with OBS and make sure things are working. Like I've got commands for certain things, like sound effects, all this sort of stuff, channel points, whatever. And it's all for the benefit of chat. Like chat can use all that sort of stuff. And the only thing that I constantly have a problem with as well is audio. I can never like, is audio okay? Is it, you know, is it too high? Is it too low? Whatever. And chat's one of those things where it's like they're probably sick of me saying it like multiple times. It's like we'll get to me sure and like, my audio okay? I definitely meant to ask at the start. I didn't do it, and I'd be like, yeah, it's fine. It's like I'll ask later, but I appreciate, you know, it's like you just letting me know. But it's one of those things where it's like even there's sort of in certain situations where it's like, is this like okay to you? Like, is this fine? Like they can sort of back you up and sort of be like, yeah, that works out. That works. You know, it sounds good. It looks good. This is, you know, the commands are working, all that sort of stuff. And it's like not just in the sort of, it makes it sort of feel very material in that way. It's like, oh, is it reusing for those sort of things? But it's like, look, at the end of the day, that's you don't sort of realize it because obviously you're sitting looking at a screen and there's like, you know, 5-10 people in the chat, whatever, and they're sitting talking to you. And it's like you don't sort of realize. I think at the time whilst you're doing it, you're sort of playing a game, talking to people, how many people that actually is. Like if you think about, you know, see if like got 30 people in chat, that's a classroom full of, you know, that if you like think about it as in a situation where you've had 30 people in your life in the same room, that's like a classroom full of people, and you sort of don't sort of realize that whole, you know, that's that many people, but you're right now it's just like it's just me in this chair talking to you two, but you two are not even in the room, and there's people in chat and it's like they're not even in the room but they're here still, and it's like just you know, it's a whole thing where it's like I don't have to sort of you know, I'm not sort of talking to you that you can get up and sort of walk. It's like have I done something wrong sort of thing, like you're still sort of sitting there like at any moment, like it's like things are fine, you know, it's everything's under control. It's just I don't feel out of I don't feel, you know, uncomfortable, or like it's like definitely a thing there where it's like I can, you know, I can just sit down. It's like everything's chill. People are like it's also a thing. It's like you do get people that sort of I suppose heckle you, or they try and get you roused up a little bit more. And it's one of those things where you can manage that as well. It's like, but I think it's also one of those things where you can always just have a laugh with them as well, though. So yeah. I went on a bit of a tangent there, I was thinking.
Nah,
yeah, baby. I love it, man.
I love a good tangent. Yeah.
I mean, goodness.
The sort of, I guess the sort of short answer when it comes to the importance of chat. I mean, it sort of comes to Twitch for a different reason, but my answer would be it's literally the most important thing. I think it's more important than the game. It's more important than, in some ways, in a way, than you are. I mean, it's more about your interaction with chat, really. That's the core thing when it comes to streaming. That's not for everyone, because obviously you do get some people that are, we always talk about, you know, the 1%, the guys that are really ridiculously good at the game, and for them maybe chat isn't quite so important. But for the sort of the people such as myself, who's not very good at video games, that just loves playing them anyway, chat is literally just the most important thing. Like, you can sack everything else. My aim when I'm streaming is to literally respond to every single chat message, and I wish I could. It's impossible because you're always going to miss one or two every now and then. And sometimes when I watch, because I do watch quite a lot of my VODs for, you know, to check everything was all right and all this kind of thing. And sometimes you see a message and then I'm like, I don't remember responding to that. And I'm watching it back and I'm like, Mellar, respond to that. Mellar, respond to that. God damn it. And it's, I honestly, it physically hurts me to like miss a chat message, because like I say, I genuinely, my goal is to see and acknowledge every single one. That's kind of my aim. Like, if I'm playing a game and chat's busy, I'm quite happy just to stop playing the game, to be honest, and just focus on chat. And kind of the one thing that I've always said. And I guess, I suppose, in many ways, it's sort of a gold standard that I've kind of, I've kind of aimed towards ever since I saw it. Is I remember the very, very, very first time I ever encountered Virtue who's been on the show before.
Mhm.
I was raided into him, and he was playing Hollow Knight. It's a game that I'd never seen before. I wasn't interested in, and I wasn't really intending to stay. And I ended up staying for about 45 minutes. It was about 45 minutes. And in that 45 minutes, I swear to you, he played maybe 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And it was the most entertaining thing I'd ever seen that wasn't like, professionally made, like a movie or something. And it was just brilliant. It was absolutely fantastic. It was so entertaining. I was like laughing out loud and all this kind of thing. And I just thought, this is the best thing ever. This is what I want for my stream. This is what I want to sort of attain. And I guess I still do. That's still sort of what I aim for at the end of the day. I mean, yeah, the game's brilliant, and that is our focus. But the focus is chat is so absolutely number one priority at the end of the day. Because without chat, especially with what I am like at games, I'm just a loser playing a video game. You know what I mean?
It's not every Twitch streamer though without chat. Isn't that just it?
Well, maybe the ones that aren't amazing at games, you could potentially argue. Yeah, obviously, when it comes to Twitch streaming, those that are shit hot at the game that they're playing, there's a completely different rule set for those people. But generally speaking, chat is literally the most important thing. Now, you don't necessarily have to have it on your screen all the time. I actually think that it is quite difficult to have chat on screen and make it look good with everything else. But having the ability but responding to it and having the ability to have it on the screen if someone says something particularly good, that is amazing. So that's what I normally do. I have 2 scenes set up, well, more than 2, but you get the idea. One without chat on the screen and one with. And then if someone says something, I'm like, that deserves to be on the screen. I'll then push the button and then it appears. For example, I mean, you can see me doing it right now with Chattisfying, but I've got one for when I'm normally streaming and that kind of thing, because chat's really important at the end of the day, and it's about making friends. I mean, I think that's probably the main reason why I think I stream. I guess it's kind of hard to say because like there's quite a few different reasons why I think most people start streaming. Certainly lots of different reasons why I love streaming. I do love video games, of course, but I'm here to make friends, but I'm also here to try and make people laugh and smile, like TheHairyHippo said earlier, as well. That's a massive kind of aim of the whole thing is to entertain people, make them smile and laugh. And if you can get to the end of a show and you've managed to do that, then you've won, essentially.
Yeah.
So it isn't it? Yeah.
You know. So I mean, as such, the people that are around, especially as you said, the people that stay no matter what game you're playing, just so important. They are your friends, and thank you. I don't think there's anything...
And that was the podcast, so thank you very much. Have a good night.
I don't think there's anything more I could really say on that subject.
I definitely think you hit that on the head. Yeah. I think there's something I want to say, but it's not really like a super thing to add. It's one of those things where it's like either you miss a message in chat or you read the same message out in chat maybe twice, and it's like, oh, I've read that. Like, why am I reading it again? You do. It's like you're going through chat. So you might have like been away, like went to the bathroom, come back. And it's like you just like, oh, if I miss anything, like reading out chat, like, oh yeah, whatever. And then you read out messages you read out. It's like, oh, no, I've read that. It's fine. I read that. It's fine. Oh, I've done this one. Oh, you read something that's particularly funny. It's like, I'll do it. I'll read it again. It's fine. But it's like, or the problem you do is you read it in your head, and you're like, I didn't say that out loud, did I? And then someone's like, oh, did you see my message? I went, yeah, I read it in my head, and I completely forgot to say something. My bad. Yeah,
absolutely.
I've done that as well.
It's like, it's so important that if I had a third screen, the first thing I would do with it is put it up portrait, and it would just have chat on it. You know.
Yeah.
It's that important.
I imagine it would be that difficult to get a third screen to that, no?
As long as you have a graphics card that has a hole for it, which I don't think I do, so it might be a while until I get one.
I have 2 HDMI. I don't think I have an extra HDMI slot, honestly.
I need to double check, but I've got a few other things that I need to do first.
I don't think you need to have a HDMI though. I mean, you can just use the VGA slots or something like that.
Yeah, but those different ones.
Your motherboard will have something for that as well, because one of my screens is motherboard and one's my graphics card.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So I've got one of those. I'm pretty sure it's VGA, the one where you screw it into the back, and it's got the
DVI.
DVI, yeah.
That's it. And then it's got HDMI on the other end of it to plug into my TV. That's what I have.
You're showing your age there, because VGA was an old one that you did used to have to screw in, but no one uses VGA anymore.
Tale as old as time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've definitely only
wow.
got one. But last time I tried to plug something in, because it's plugged into the graphics card. Last time I tried to plug a monitor into directly into the motherboard, everything stopped working. It was like the whole computer, including the mouse movement, was literally like that.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Well, that was an unreal, like really smooth and really quite succinct segment 2.
It's almost like we've done it before.
Yeah. Has anybody
Almost.
got anything to add to that before we move on to segment 3?
Honestly, I think that you hit the nail pretty much hard in the head.
you ended it really well.
You wrapped that up like.
It's all you. You don't even need us, mate. We're just gonna
Yeah, I'll see you guys later. I'm getting a pint. You come on with us?
Yeah, I'll go with you, baby. Yeah.
Oh, I could really go for a pint right
glory
now.
holder.
No, you got to finish this. We're going for a pint.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Well, should we flip our coin and we'll see?
Oh, do you know what?
Okay,
I love
so normally
I'll
it would
take
be heads would be contextual chattification and tails would be follow double dip. But we're going to play contextual chattification either way. But let's see what it would have been.
Okay.
Come on,
It would have been follow double dip.
bastard.
That's all right. I cast the vote. I was right.
Amazing. So we are now going to play a sub game. So if you're just listening, now is a really, really good time to draw your eyes to the screen because we're going to be watching some Twitch clips and we're going to play
Contextual Chattification.
Smooth.
So we're going to watch some of Hippo's clips. And then once we've watched each clip, Sukonami and I are going to try and guess what the hell is going on.
Okay.
And then Hippo's going to tell us. All right, so the first clip is called
The Regret, right?
So we're going to watch this clip in 3, 2, 1. Play that clip.
I got excited.
Jesus Christ.
Then how about I make some tea as well?
The girls have a few.
That is an amazing clip. I think we watched that on the Christmas special, didn't we? The Hairy Hippo.
I think we might have, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourites.
Do you know what the fuck is going on there, Sukonami?
I do, yeah. This man's doing his Jabba the Hutt impression. That's exactly what's going on here. I reckon an honest answer is that Hippo was doing voice for each character, but for some reason, Sayuri's a middle-aged smoker, 40 a day, in a 12-year-old body. But then again, I also played Doki Literature Club, and I don't know what's going on. So,
Have you played it all the way through?
I have. I sat down for 7 hours and did it all once. It was. I was done after that one.
Yeah, it's an interesting game, huh?
You get halfway through, like, well, the start's very like, here I am doing literature, and it's not at the end of it.
Oh no,
It's not at the end of it.
yeah.
Oh goodness.
I reckon because if it's called The Regret. I think the regret is that you're like, why did I give these characters these voices?
These voices, yeah.
Because now I'm having to do it for like so long.
The next little like while I play this game, that's exactly it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's it. And you're just sitting there
Yeah,
like,
pretty
why?
much. It was more the case of because I got told. We've talked about this before, Mellar. I feel like there's certain games that are like stretch goal, like goals that you have to do, or like you know, prerequisites you have to play. You have to play Undertale pretty much because someone's going to ask you to play Undertale, and then Doki Doki's one as well, and all that kind of stuff. I was like, okay, I'll do it, and then I realized it was like a story game, and I'm going to have to voice act, and I can't voice act for shit, and I was like, I'm just going to fucking go ham on it, and I just lost the will to live
No,
when I started
about-
doing my like Arnold Schwarzenegger style voice thing that I was doing, like get to the chopper on an adorable fucking schoolgirl, and I was like, this is just, I can't cope with this anymore.
One of the
I can't
worst
cope with
things
this.
about that as well is the fact that like you're trying to keep up with that, but your throat gets really raw very fast.
Oh, it was pounded hard. Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
why I
problem,
used the
right?
voice modulator for it, because otherwise I'd have been
I was au natural, darling, and I did I did it all like that. It was dire. It was dire. Yeah, and then I got to a point I was like, which one's got which voice again? And I'm like, oh, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, that's understandable. That's another one of
Oh,
those
God.
beautiful things about the voice modulator is it's literally they're numbered. So you're like, okay, so Sayori's number 4 and that kind of thing.
No, I get
Yeah.
you.
Oh, amazing. That is crazy. Well, let's go to the next one. Have I got any more weird stuff to show? Yes, you did.
You may need to put volume up on this one.
Volume up. Okay, we can do that.
I turned the volume down for the last one.
Yeah, because
so.
it was quite
Yeah,
loud, wasn't it?
I have no audio balance at all on anything I do. So
To be fair, I mean, I'm a bit like that. Like each stream, I think audio balance is all right, but if you go across all of the streams, they're gradually getting quieter.
Oh, no.
Anyway, so are you ready with clip number 2?
I am indeed.
Right, 3, 2, 1, play that clip.
what else do I need to show you guys? I know what I need to show you guys. What have I got to show you guys? Have I got more weird stuff I need to show?
Look at the swagger.
Look at the chest here.
Hello.
No. Taking my socks off because this is weird.
Oh, there's feet. Let's go. Hippo knew the Twitch meta 3 years ago before it actually came into it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, no.
That was yeah, nasty. Okay. Dance, hippo dance, hippo dance, hippo dance, hippo.
That is a man clearly loving life right there. That's what that is. I love that clip. Well, what do you think is going on there, Sukonami?
That's a man that is he's looking for something like to maybe like talk about or sort of like oh, this is a cool thing I have, gotta talk about it, and then you sort of you can't sort of think I'm blanking what we're gonna do here. So I'm moving, so let's work with that. Let's work with this. Okay, we're gonna start dancing, and then you take your socks off. I don't know. I guess that's for the Twitch meta. It's good to get up there. It's just chatting, so you're probably boom, straight up.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Coochie's out, and then man's loving it itself, isn't he? He's loving it, loving life.
Loving life, absolutely. I have questions. Why? Like, well, first of all, actually, what is in that box that has Frostmourne? And yeah, the Lich King.
It's
right?
Frostmourne.
You've actually got like an actual
Actual metal
a
Frostmourne.
sword.
It cost me 170 quid. Yeah, I have a Frostmourne. It's right there, actually, to be fair. So.
Oh my god, I'd love to see
It's
that
an actual
sometime.
Frostmourne, and it's like 5 foot tall, weighs a fucking shit ton. It's about like 13, 14 kilos in weight.
Oh
Sure.
mate. Again,
Yeah.
like I said earlier, the nerd inside me is so jealous. That is amazing.
but,
Then,
you said you had more questions.
yeah, what made you decide to take off your socks?
It was very hot.
Fair enough. It just seems so unbelievably random in the moment. So, I mean, you're clearly loving life. You're having a bit of a dance, and sort of flirting with chat, really.
And ended on a David Bowie montage. Yeah. Or sing along, Yeah. Because that's from Labyrinth.
Dance, magic dance. Yeah, I love that
Magic
song.
Dance, If I did dance,
You remind me of the
Babe.
Babe.
Yeah.
What babe?
Babe with the power.
What power?
The power of voodoo.
Hoodoo?
You do.
That's for the babe.
Do
God,
what?
you guys are so
Remind me of
good.
the
I
Babe.
love it.
I love that song.
Yeah, so the whole principle of that was I love my geeky stuff. As you probably see by the background there, I've got like paintings of Joker and all this kind of stuff, and I've got like Warcraft film toys that I had to get imported and all that kind of shit. I've got Star Trek figurines and all that kind of stuff. I love the geeky stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, and I just recently moved to that house. That's the house of COVID, by the way.
Yeah.
Good house.
That's the house of COVID. Yes. Yeah, it's like fucking terrible. But yeah, so I'd moved in. I got stuff on the walls now, and people were like, well, what's new? And I'm like, well, I got this and this, and I'm like, what else have I got to show you? And because I couldn't think of anything new to show, I was suddenly getting to my insecurities going, it's really hot in here. I should take my socks off. So I took my socks off, and I'm like, I'm just gonna dance and do ninja moves. Oh yeah. And I'm like, because this is what I do. Like when I get home, I take the socks off, I like wah, 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 and all that kind of shit. That's what I do.
But
I did it in front of the camera.
You can keep
And
your
then-
hat on.
I can. I do. I do very much so. But yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Yeah, it was very hot, and then I decided to sniff them after. I was like, "That's an instant regret."
Yeah.
That's a mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, that really was a mistake.
You sort of realize. I think it was maybe Wednesday. I couldn't understand. There was something I was smelling. I was like, "What is that stink?" And at one point, one of this, I went, "It's not me." Oh, and that was it. I was like, "Oh, that wasn't it,"
That wasn't it. Shall we move to the next one? One-on-one
Yeah.
classes on chocking.
I got it.
Mm.
All right. Are we ready?
Yeah.
I might need to turn the volume down a little bit, but I don't know. It goes up and down like a fucking yo-yo. I keep saying this.
No worries. All right, 3, 2, 1. Play that clip.
Many places, especially on the surface, require a gas mask for survival. If you start to choke, then swallow better. No, then press G to put on the mask. To take off the mask, hold G. To see how long your filters will last, press T to look at your watch. I didn't say this game is doomed. I think I'm saying the game is doomed from the start. Have I put doom?
That music's DMCA free, right?
Well, it is now.
You hope so.
That's right. You can mute me.
I don't think that was at context at all. I think that was just a clip from Hippo's stream. I think that's just genuinely like that's what he is like.
Yeah, that's actually gameplay footage sound.
That's just him sitting down, playing the game, doing what he'd normally do. I think that's that. I don't think that's context at all. I think that's generally like the sort of thing you can experience with Hippo.
What game is that? Is that Tarkov?
It's Metro 2033.
Yeah.
What?
Top tip. It says it on the clip.
Yeah, I'm full,
what game it
I'm
is.
full screen, baby.
Yeah, it's Metro 2033.
Metro 2033. Never heard of it.
Metro. Yeah, so it's based upon a book.
Yeah, is this game right?
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. There you are.
Ah. Yeah,
That's
of
a
course you've got it, because you've got every game that's ever been made.
I only bought that. I only bought that in England, so I didn't have that game.
In a foreign land far, far away.
That's why it's not on the shelf properly. I couldn't find a place to put it. I was like,
That's such a
slide it
weird
in here.
coincidence. Yeah, that's Hippo being Hippo, that is. Like, you're
Yeah.
reading the instructions of the game, and you're being very lewd.
Lewd? Yeah, but I think I also had it initially titled as Doom, but I don't actually own Doom, so I mistitled it for some reason. I don't know why I did it, and then a mod had already changed it for me at the time, and it's like, no, this is actually Metro, and I'm like, oh, yeah,
This
my
is
name is Doom.
This is
Yeah.
Russian Doom.
Yeah,
Russian Doom.
Yeah. yeah.
Amazing.
Oh goodness.
Next one.
Oh god.
Hippo playing in
Playing
his castle.
Yeah.
I like this already.
Oh,
Look at the
God.
size of that thing. I mean,
Look at the size of that tower. Yeah.
The shaft is amazing, isn't it?
Ooh.
Ready when you are, then.
right. That's 3, 2, 1. Play that clip.
Beautiful. It has a castle with parapet, places for archers, runs out the castle to kill enemies. Fuck yeah! Yeah! Oh no, I've run out of arrows. Let's go. I'm stuck. Oh shit, there's too many of them. Quick, into the tunnel! Into the tunnel! Quick, let's go to tunnel. Get in here, go. Let's go. Let's press the button. Go, flee! Flee! They will never catch us alive. Vive la résistance! Rah!
People are
Ça flamme pour
resistance.
moi! Woo! Ah! Yeah, freedom! Ha! They will never catch us. No. Quick. Beautiful.
Beautiful indeed. I love it. Sukonami, what's going on?
I mean, did you see the name of the clip? That's complete. He's just playing his cat. I think it's fun though when you're sitting there and sort of imagining these sort of things that are going to go on. So, oh, here's my castle. Here's some, all this is sort of thing that can go on, sort of thing, So I definitely see. It's kind of like being a kid again, isn't it? You're sort of like imagining those sort of things.
I was exactly going to say that. It's exactly the kind of childish pissing around that I look for in a stream. It's so like joyous, isn't it? Watching that, I love that. That's
great.
premium content right there.
I love that. Yeah.
Hippo,
I think it's
go on.
Oh no, sorry. I was going to say. I think it's about Minecraft as well. It's like obviously you sat there and built that sort of thing. It's like now you've got a sort of like. Now how would it actually? Like, what would sort of thing be? It's like imagine being gifted. Like I don't know. You got a pirate ship as a kid, and you're sort of sitting there like playing with your pirate ship. And you're like, that's the sort of things you'd imagine doing.
Yeah.
So like, do this next thing, do the next thing, and suddenly it's like, oh yeah, they're boarding us, Captain.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. Yeah, Hippo?
So that was actually on an SMP. on a multiplayer server. I was invited by a viewer of mine to join their server and give it a go, and I was like, "Yeah, this is cool." And I thought, "Do you know what? I'm actually gonna." I was still relatively new. I'd only been playing Minecraft for about 4 or 5 months at that point. And I was like, And for some reason, I spent like a decade hating the game, and then had this epiphany, like, you can actually build stuff in Minecraft. Who'd have thought? Yeah, ta-da! Yeah, but I still hate the blocky texture of it, which really annoys me, and still annoys me to this day. I hate the blocks of it, but that's what it is. But I still
You can
like
change the texture pack.
Yeah, no, but it's still squares, isn't it? It's still a square. Everything is pretty much still a square, and it does me tits in.
Would you prefer circles?
Yes, I'm a circle man. Yes. But so I got onto the server, and I was like, and I made several things on that server. So that was my own little cluster area, and I made my first ever arc, and it was a really big fucking arc. I was proper proud of it as well. And then and then my community started joining, and that was like the hub of like the Hippo Nation, as it were. And they made their own little things and made fields and windmills and all that kind of stuff. And I dug through basically a hillside, and that's where the train track was initially, not the one I went under, but they came in through. I was like, I'm going to build a castle here because it's on the side of like a cliff's edge, and all this kind of stuff is really cool. And I built the castle, and then somebody asked me about it, and I was like, "Well, this is, in case I get invaded, and fucking I've run out of arrows. I could go run down here, and I can get down here, and I can escape." And I made that tunnel way underground, and I made if you go follow where it ended, if you went left because it splits off in a T-junction, that was my rest station, Metro 2033 style. Like, you had a little like underground subway section and it had all like beds and food and supplies and stuff like that. But I named it. What did I name it? I think I named that station Moria because it was in the mines of Moria underground, and it was actually stationed underneath like a big like hillside that was in the middle of the ocean. So it was really cool.
Went in.
But if you went right,
This got lore.
Yeah, man, yeah. And if you went right and followed that, it was a walkway. You'd have to take a bubble valley down, and it would come into a woodland forest that I'd built, and it was a gigantic fucking tree. And we're talking like. It was 6 chunks, like circumference kind of thing. So
like
6 by 6
like where Galadriel lives, right?
Yeah, but it was in the middle of the ocean. So this tree came out of the ocean. I built it from scratch, and it was like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of blocks. And basically, 2 viewers predominantly helped me out, Thrista and Honey Pigeon, and they were growing the oak trees, the dark oak trees, chopping them down. I kept coming back up and down, grabbing and I was building this fucking massive chunky tree. Yeah. And they kept bringing it back up, and then we were like, "We need leaves," and it was like, "Oh, we got leaves. We've been shearing them," and they're like, I had thousands and thousands of leaves, and I built this thing, and then Bueno joined the server as well, and he built Falcor, the luck dragon from Neverending Story, flying around my tree as well. All this kind of bits and bats like that, and it became this really big community thing, and it was just amazing. So it was just lots of different things. Just had fun playing on it, really.
Amazing.
But, yeah, it's just what it was. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's move on then to next one. No context needed. Well, that's good because it's kind of the idea of the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, well, are we ready for this one? All right.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Play that clip.
Oh, I don't know.
Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. I don't give a fuck no more. Fuck it. I fucking fuck.
I don't even know what to do anymore. I feel like you're just going to sexualize everything, you two.
You're eating a lollipop.
Didio and Thrista, sexual deviants. I tell you, sexual. I used to be innocent when I started streaming. I was innocent.
Bullshit.
Then Didio came into my stream, and I was like, "Oh, what a lovely gentleman, really nice man." And he's like, "Oh, go on, fucking hippo, fuck yeah, go on, talk dirty to me, talk dirty, you dirty bastard." And I'm like, "Vagina." I don't know.
I love the way you're like, vagina.
Vagina.
What is going on? Sukonami?
I reckon that he was playing the game normally, whatever, and then some people in chat started sexualizing things, and he started playing into it. He sort of started playing into the whole situation, pull it lollipop, all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
So that's what I reckon what was going on,
Well, I think because you've got the Cataclysm background there with Deathwing,
Mhm.
but I think you were just chatting, You're not playing a video game at all at this moment. But you're eating a lollipop, and because you're eating a lollipop, chat are being very rude.
Yeah, two in particular that are very renowned for being sexual deviants, as I clearly explained. In that. But I think that clip was built for this stream, right? For this podcast, because even though I've got a catechism background and I'm just chatting, I was actually playing Star Trek Online. I just was too lazy to change my setup at the time, and I left catechism in the background.
I love how you like this. This is a time for an evil laugh.
Yeah. Yes, I win all along. But no, it was just because my chat always goes pervy, which is a lot of fun. And I really enjoy it. And they were just like, they were non-stop that night. They were on par. And I was like, I just can't do anything. Because I was having lollies because they're the Chubba Chup sugar-free lollies, so they were good for my diet because I really needed something sweet and I can't eat a Galaxy bar because I was trying to lose weight. So I was like, I'm gonna chuck a lolly, and I just chucked it in my mouth, and they was like, oh, fucking suck that lolly, why don't you suck it? And I'm like, I can't fucking have a lolly. Why can't I even have a lolly? It's like the most generically easy thing to sexualize. Let's do something a bit more challenging to make it feel like a sexualization. Come on, like the sock thing or something like that from a previous clip. But no, they went straight for the lolly. I was very disappointed. I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. I used to be so innocent, and you ruined me. Okay. Yes. Sorry.
Yes. That's amazing.
That's pretty much what you get from my streams, to be fair.
Literally, I can see who clipped it. So,
who was it that clipped it? Was it me?
Thrister.
It was Thrister, was it?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was Thrister you were talking to, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Thrister and the dirty one. Yeah. Yeah.
Hippo cooking show is the next one. I'm already looking forward to this. Look at that. This looks amazing. Look at the overlay straight away. Right, let's do this. Are you ready?
Okay.
Wait.
This is the last one, isn't it? Yeah.
This is the last one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready. Sorry. Yeah.
Right.
Let me know.
All right. Well, 3, 2, 1. Play that clip.
Here's how I do it. So, see portion of chips, steak and kidney pie, battered sausage, and curry sauce. You turn the steak and kidney pie upside down so the roof of it is on the base. You open up its arse, tear its arse right open with a fork, and then pour the curry sauce in. Then you grab the battered sausage and dunk that fucker in and scoop out some of that curry sauce and steak and kidney pie on the battered sausage. Fucking glorious.
That sounds
Like
disgusting.
a volcano of joy. And very sexual.
Apart from the
being a
sexual.
Welsh person, curry sauce is what we live for.
I'm not in for that. Does that sound nice to you, Sukonami, or is it just me?
No, I hate curry sauce.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You bloody foreigners, I tell you.
Not a giant fan of curry sauce.
Yeah. No, me either,
Really,
really. Although
baked beans as well, if you're doing like if you had like a Frey Bentos pie or something like that.
you know that lots of other countries make fun of like British food, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This is it.
I know how it feels. Butter Mars bars, I know exactly how it feels.
Yeah. I like batter Mars bar, but I'm fat.
So do
I
I.
like everything
I
better.
used to eat butter Mars for every lunch.
You ever had battered chips?
No,
No. Yeah,
That's fun.
What about butter pizza?
no,
Yeah,
that wouldn't. I would try
Butter-
battered Mars
butter
bar though.
Milky
I've never
Way.
tried one, but I would. Like,
No, I've done a Milky Way. I've done a Mars bar and I've done a Snickers.
you
Careful.
ate them, right?
I used to, well, the thing is, like, obviously the chip shop used to do butter Mars bars, but they stopped doing it because it's like, oh, it makes a mess of the fat or whatever, or makes a
Yeah.
mess of the fryers.
That makes sense, yeah.
I started doing it at home.
Yeah. Yes.
What if I could do it in an air fryer?
We're going back like in that case, that's 2 votes for air fryer.
We had a chat while I think you were away, Mellar, and I was like, I got a little bit of money aside, not much, just a little bit. I was like, I got 2 options. I could either get myself a mini fridge, which
Or
would
an air
really cool
fryer.
to have, quite figuratively and literally, or I could get an air fryer so I can make chicken nuggets.
That's the exact thing. That's the exact thing you said to me.
Yeah.
Make chicken nuggets.
Homemade. Yeah.
Yeah, get the air fryer, man. Who needs a mini fridge?
That's 3 for 3.
I do, because it's going to be summer. I'm going to be hot. I'm going to be under light because I'm streaming consistently. You know.
You could get out your chair and go.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
get
a mini fridge with some like nice cold, like Coca-Cola or something, or Dr. Pepper sounds
just there,
nice.
right next to me. Open up, have a drink, bish bosh bash, lovely, smack in the gash. So
Yeah. But at the same time, it feels like the height of laziness. Like, whereas
Yes.
at least with an air fryer, you're getting something that you wouldn't have otherwise.
But I don't know if you two are very similar to me. As much as I like to take a break on the odd occasion while in midstream, like the mid-roll break thing or something like that, I do tend to supply up beforehand if I know I'm going to do like a 3 or 4 hour stream.
Oh, yeah,
I'll have a couple of
absolutely.
bottles of drink next to me, some sweeties. I've got a packet of chocolate digestive biscuits
And my
here.
jug.
You know, I've got some fucking I don't know. This is stuff from your land.
I don't
know
really
what it is.
I don't really
like
eat on
fudge.
stream.
I don't like
But-
eating on stream. Even if I'm
Yeah.
just eating crisps, I normally turn off my camera.
Yeah, I won't have a full on meal, but I'll have like sweetie bits or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I've always done longer streams. I've done like 12, 24 hour streams, whatever, and I'll sit and eat on those. But it's like I don't normally like to sit and eat on my normal streams, or whatever.
Yeah, no, I actually like if I'm going to be eating anything, like it'll only be something small, like a packet of crisps. I'll turn off my cam and I'll actually up my noise gate as well to make sure no one can hear me because I hate it.
See, I don't
nothing
really
worse
care
than the
because
sound of
I'll
someone
get a chocolate digestive biscuit right now, right, and I'll just shove it right in my hat.
Yeah. I can just about live with it as long as I don't hear it. I hate hearing the sound of people eating. Like that mouth noise
Yeah.
makes me want to punch puppies. Obviously, I'm not going to, but it makes me want to. Yeah, I don't. Is there really any context needed for that? Like you're describing some very British food.
I'm describing one of my favourite takeaways and how I have a specific way of eating that takeaway.
Yeah, it's a very special way of
Ripping
eating
the arse
it.
open of a steak and kidney pie, and it has to be like either a Clark's pie or probably a Pucker's okay because the lid are
Pucker
kind of still
pie.
soft, not really crisp. They can kind of sog a little bit, which is nice instead of being like all flaky and horrible. And the arse is really good, stodgy, like fucking pastry. So yeah.
Tell me
Yes.
what my palate is ours.
Stodgy. I'm not in for stodgy, if I'm honest.
I love a bit of stodge, man.
Yeah.
I love a bit of
Oh
stodge.
yeah. Amazing. Well, I feel like that's probably is that a wrap? Do you think, guys?
I think so.
I think so, mate.
Anybody
Yeah.
want to any more for any more? Anyone want to add anything before we move on? Before we sort of finish off?
Don't think so.
Are we finishing off at the same time?
Of course, absolutely. I mean, it's
I better start going, eh?
we all, I think we can all agree it's better if you finish together.
Friends who finish together,
forever.
stick together. Literally.
Well, thank you guys so much. I can't tell you how much fun it's been. Thank you, Sukonami, so much for agreeing to be to join us as a co-host. And Hippo, thank you as always for just being here and being amazing. I really, really appreciate you. You are a
I'm
legend.
still waiting to get paid. It's been 14 episodes now. I'm still waiting for that. Just throwing it out there.
I got paid for episode 7. What are you on about?
I'm that B-roll footage. If he needs something, I'm here for him. That's what I am.
Mate, you can't have a good YouTube video without B-roll footage. All right.
That's true.
All
That's
right.
true.
No, seriously, I really, really do appreciate both of you very, very much. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you also, everyone who has been watching and has contributed and has watched. Thank you so much. And thank you, anyone who is watching on YouTube in the future. Hello, future. Hello. I hope it's better than now. So this is something that we do aim to do this every month with a different guest, and the co-host may be changing here and there as well. We'll see how that goes as well. It's all kind of up in the air at the moment. It's all very exciting. It's all lots of fun. So if you enjoyed yourself this evening watching us tit around and ask questions and hopefully be funny, then please do follow me, because this is where the show is. Please follow Sukonami and the TheHairyHippo. You can clearly see from the events of the last couple of hours that they are extremely entertaining people. And follow. It doesn't cost you anything, and you won't regret it. So please do that. Please do that.
Unless I'm shit, then you probably will regret it, but it's okay.
Well, we already know that. And then there is also the YouTube. So all of the Chattisfying podcasts, what I do is after the show, they get edited. I don't know why that didn't work. They get edited and they get put on my YouTube, which is here. All of the previous episodes are already there. This is episode 14, so there's 13 episodes There's two playlists. There's one of like if you want to watch the full episode, and then there's one if you just want to watch highlights. So there's hours of fun on there for you guys if you want to watch the previous episodes, which I recommend, of course. But then I would because I help make them. So I'm a bit biased, really, aren't I? But I'm still gonna recommend them because that's my prerogative.
Yes, boy, do you have a question?
I'd just like to state that episode 7 is probably one of my favorites. You should definitely watch that.
Episode 7 is the one where Sukonami is the
Oh,
guest. and
spoilers, dude. Spoilers. Come on.
I do recommend that episode. That was a particular highlight, honestly.
I think it's a good one as well, actually.
Yeah. What was that, sorry?
I think this was a good one as well, though, to be fair.
I definitely agree. I've had so much fun, honestly.
It's lasted very, like, a lot longer than normally.
I can last a long time orally. That's it, man.
Yeah.
It's all about.
I mean, we've been going for the nearly 3 hours, and we normally aim for between 1 and 2 hours. So I feel like we've done really well, and it doesn't feel like it's been that long either. It really
no, because it was 8 o'clock, and it was like I originally thought it was 10.
Yeah.
And I was like sitting there, sitting there streaming. I was like, "Oh, I'm not. I see." You know,
The thing is, I literally only came in to hang out. I thought you knew.
I said to Mellar, like, before you turned up, I was like, you know he's streaming, right? Is he going to raid you? This is awesome. I can't wait.
No, I was like, and then I was like, I've only 20 minutes, 40 minutes. I should probably finish this up, right? I'm like, I'm sitting there trying to play it, like, hurry up, like, hand like redo a fight, like, this isn't going to work. Come on, hurry up.
It was one of those games that you can't just save anywhere, was it? There's like save points.
It's like in the middle of like cutscenes and battles. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this chapter, there's no way to pause this.
Yeah, honestly, I do think that in one way or another, it is kind of a miracle that we all managed to sort of get in place, and we only started the stream like it was sort of between 5 and 10 minutes later than normally built.
It wasn't super late. No.
Yeah, all being told, I feel like we did really well this month. So yeah, seriously, thank you guys so much. Hopefully, we'll see you guys again, everyone, next month for another episode of Chattisfying. Everyone you see on the screen here streams. I will be continuing after. But thank you everyone so much for hanging out, and we will see you guys next time.
See you later.
Bye for now.
Chattisfied.